And
Yeah, we're in the double digits now.
we got
And
2 guests today in a studio.
In the studio.
Let's start introductions.
my name's Emily.
Eddie.
Bailey.
And my name is Jay. Jay and Eddie
We're
are the co-hosts for the show, and these are our 2 lovely guests.
Yeah, we're in the double digits now.
2 guests today in the studio.
Oh, yeah, it looks nice, man. The colors look way nicer.
Colors look
yeah, those are
cool.
nice.
Hella bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
How are the colors, guys? Do you like the colors better?
Yeah, we added a filter to the stream today to see if we could well, not necessarily a filter, but Miggy edited it a little bit.
So, how are we looking, guys? Give us
Sound
thumbs up or
good,
thumbs
everything?
down for the color
The
on a
sound.
video. Carl
Nice.
corrected a little bit for you.
Cool, man. Cool. I like this.
Yeah, it looks really good on the phone too.
All right, well, we got a packed show today. We got a couple of topics we'll talk about. We'll probably have a little, maybe 2 video reactions for you, and then we'll talk about the video reactions. And in addition to that, I have another post that I want to kind of talk about.
For now, what'd you do today?
What did I do? I actually today worked, and then I was working on our videos, so I had to do a lot of the descriptions and timestamps. So from now on, guys, we're gonna have a bunch of descriptions on the videos, and also gonna have the
My guy
timestamps.
Jay putting in work.
Yeah. So once let's say you stop watching the video, you can come back to that same timestamp and then view it from there. Hey,
That's
Alex,
cool.
we see you, Peruano, loving life. Hashtag. Have you looked at those tickets, just like we talked about?
Where y'all trying to go?
Huh?
Colombia, I'm guessing.
Yep.
It
It was
Should've known.
it was actually
vamos.
Let's go.
so it was actually Puerto Rico, because he saw some tickets at like $160 to go to Puerto Rico, and I'm like, all
down.
right,
Even better.
yeah, let's do Puerto Rico. The problem is we don't know anyone, and we've never been to Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
That's
I'm
go-
gonna show you something real quick. I
yeah,
can't say
going
it,
over the
but I'm
weekend.
gonna show you something.
Okay.
Going over the weekend would not make any sense, you know what I mean? Because we don't know where to go, what to do. So it would be just more of a discovering everything. But one already free Andrew Tate.
It's in the
So
archives.
we wouldn't know what to do. But then Colombia, we're going over the weekend. We've already been there so many times that kind of know exactly what's going on. But Puerto Rico is somewhere we haven't been.
Puerto Rico, I feel like you just look it up online and like
Yeah.
there's a lot of places that you
Yeah.
go to that are good food, good this, good that, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun. I mean, clearly we were with her dad and her aunt.
Hey, what are these sidebars? What's
now?
going on?
No, I showing her something real quick.
Anyways, but we were with her dad and like her aunt who like knew where to go and what was good, but a lot of it too was just like
We
stuff
just
that we
looked it
looked up
up.
online.
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, they'll give you a lot of places
lot
to
of
go,
places to do.
specifically
literally can
Puerto
just
Rico.
look up
Like,
But this
things
is
to
2
do
dudes
if
that
you
are going out. We're probably going to want to eat, have some drinks, maybe like talk to locals, you know what I mean?
You can do that on one
Mm.
block.
Yeah,
You
you
can
can
do
do
that
that
anywhere.
You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
real.
Especially where we were staying. You can do that. Literally, you don't have to leave the block. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And you can find a restaurant and a bar.
yep, you could walk there,
Yeah, we walked to.
and the Ubers and everything are really cheap. So
We
Yeah.
walked to a place that was
A
like
breakfast place.
yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
really
if
good.
you go to Puerto Rico, you gotta go to Bistro Cafe. That's
Yes.
the main place I recommend.
Yeah, it was really.
He says
really
the lens is giving out a grainy. Art, I think you're the only one that sees this grainy thing, because I don't.
I know what he's
He got
talking
grainy
about.
eyeballs.
I know what he's
No.
talking about. I saw it on the video, but it's not nothing major.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
Emily,
Mickey,
you're
did you
glowing.
introduce yourself, by the way?
No, I did not. What's up?
Yeah, that's our producer. We had a camera, but that didn't work, so we'll have that running next time
maybe
for you
next
guys,
time.
so you can see.
It was supposed to
his-
be like 3
his
times
face.
ago.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
They actually didn't even pick that up because the audio was still switched. Hold on.
What do you, switched? You switched it to yours directly?
Because everything just got bamboozled. Okay, now they can hear me. What's up?
all right. So now you can hear our producer Miggy, and so we'll have him on camera next feed. All right, guys. So yeah, so it was Puerto Rico versus Colombia. So I was like, I don't know. Let's just kind of look into this. You know what I mean? Because I don't mind going somewhere. You know what I mean? It's a vacation. And I was like, bro,
When
you know,
are you
we
trying
got
to
the
go?
Huh?
Aren't you trying to go for your birthday or?
No, it would be before that. It would be like Friday through Sunday and then come back because it's like literally 2 days in and out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and there's like, man, we can go on Thursdays. I'm like, hell no, we can't go on Thursday because I got the pod, you know. We gotta
Thursday
be
night after the
consistent,
podcast.
yeah. Yeah,
We
gotta
almost
be
had
consistent
Miggy
on
come
this.
even with the corona. We almost had him come in here.
Yeah, so that's the basics. All right, what about you guys?
What'd you do?
Oh yeah, talk about what you guys do today.
Yeah.
We went to go get her car.
No.
The window
Talk about
tinted.
more about your.
Yeah, I'm
this
about to.
whole
I'm
thing.
going.
We're getting
So
there.
we
Starting-
went
she's
to get
starting- they
the
spent the
windows
whole day together.
tinted.
Yeah.
And then we went to the mall. And then when I got back, I did her makeup.
Literally, her makeup is the only thing on camera right now that everyone can see really well.
Looks good though. You
It
can
does
see my
look
work.
good.
Y'all better
Yeah.
book with me. Get your makeup done.
All of 3 female people that are watching right now.
Hey,
You never know.
3 people.
Yeah, that's
three
like
Maybe
people.
somebody else
That's
maybe
like
will
3
watch
out of
the
4
video and
right now. One other dude maybe watching.
or who knows? Maybe
Today
some dude.
I almost lost my life. No, I'm just kidding. It was,
Lost your
it was a scary day. I ain't gonna lie.
What would you do?
Why?
What happened?
We installed these huge 8-foot impact doors, slider doors, like the like glass doors, and those things were heavy as hell, and they're 8 foot. So the moment you get them straight up, and you have to pop them in on the top first, and then bring the bottom in, right? And these things are so heavy, and they're top heavy as hell. Like when we're moving them sideways like this, it's not too bad. And we use the same. We were using the same grips from the granite, like to grab the stone, the one I was talking about the other day, the pressure ones, and that made it really easy. But the moment we had to grab it by hand, and then so where the doors were, it was 3 of these doors, and each one had 3 sliders. So we had to install 9 of these freaking sliders, and it was to an exterior, right? And there was supposed to be a dock built, and it wasn't built yet. So it was literally like the door,
And
and a 1/2-inch lip of concrete from the door, and then a 4-foot drop. Yeah, we had to. The guy had a tractor that we put a pallet of wood on to be able to like put the door out and then put it in, because the inside of the door has a lip on the floor, so you can't do it from the inside. You have to first take the door out and do it like this from the outside. So
That was OSHA safe.
yeah. Dude, I almost shit myself plenty of times today. The doors, our hands kept getting really sweaty. It was we're working outside. This house was a new construction, so I had no AC. And my hands were so sweaty. And by the time I went to go lift the first door, it almost fell out of my hands. Like legit, almost fell out of my hands. 4-foot drop to the floor. And the old dude the old guy that was watching us. I looked at him, no reaction. It was so crazy. Like if it was me and I saw that door about to fall, I'd be like, "Yo!" But the guy had no reaction. I think it was funny.
He's probably thinking that
No,
fucking drop my
he
door.
he ended up telling us, no, it wasn't his house. It was his son's house. He was there, helping his son. And but he ended up telling us afterward that he used to do that for 40 years. I'm assuming windows and doors. And that's probably why he had no reaction. He's like, I've seen worse, probably, in his head. But yeah, we had to install 9 of these sliders. I ended up, it got so bad. So each slider has like an interlocking lip, right? But the one in the middle has 2 interlocking lips to catch with the ones on the outside, right? And those lips make the door thicker, right, on that edge. And so you can't use the handles to grab it, right? And so when we would go to put the door in, if whoever was on the side where the lip was, or if we were putting the middle one in, because on the middle one, both sides had the lip, we couldn't use the handles. We had to grab it by our hands, and that's why that thing almost fell out of my freaking hands. I told Randy, I was like, bro, I really can't hold that door. Like, I hold it, and in 2 seconds, my hands let out a little bit of sweat, and it starts slipping.
Damn.
It didn't matter. There's nothing I could do about it. And so what we had to do was every door that was one of the outside ones that had one side without the lip where I could put the handles on, I would take that side. And I would have to take that side because I just couldn't hold the door. And Randy, I don't know how the fuck he managed to, but he managed to. And at the end, on like the last 3 doors, the same thing was happening to him. Like he got to the point where his grip was giving out as well. My man's got 10 years of experience. What can I say? Or 10 more years than I do on experience.
Calvin said, "What Pokemon would Jay be?"
What do you call the purple big fat one? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Jigglypuff.
No, the one that looks like a
Snorlax.
no, the one that
Snorlax is the big one.
no, the one that looks
Hanky.
like a devil.
Oh, damn! I know which one you're talking about, but I don't know his name. I'm not a Pokemon like person, to be honest
They
with you.
said,
maybe
who
they
beat you
know.
up, Jake?
Nah,
Wow, that's my mom. She said, "Who beat you up?"
nah, it was just a tiny little accident. Got head butted and then split my eyebrow open, but nothing crazy. Just about a quarter inch.
He does jujitsu, by the
Yeah,
way. He didn't
quarter
just
inch
headbutt
split him.
somebody. He didn't give
Yeah,
that
no, it was
context.
just-
He was like, yeah, I just headbutted somebody.
No. No, it was just during training. Some like we were rolling and then both of us were just going at it, and then my head decided to meet his head.
Yeah.
My
That
eyebrow
happens.
decided to meet his head,
That
so I got
happens.
a little split on my eyebrow, but it's nothing crazy.
It's crazy. I've seen people like, how do you headbutt someone when you're in a fight? And you're like, bro, you have no idea. That shit happens a lot more than you think. And when you're doing jujitsu, like grappling
That
and rolling.
especially, yeah, 'cause you're
And
like
no,
cuddling.
it happens a lot when you're boxing. No, it happens a lot when you're boxing. A lot. Because a lot of guys will drop down, and instead of dropping straight down, they just put their head forward. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a way to dodge
Break
the punch.
fall, and
They're
are
trying
you
to-
talking about when you're falling or
No,
just
I'm sorry, like
changing levels?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of guys when they going forward and they change levels. So like you see a lot of guys when they throw over right hand.
Yeah, see, Alex
They
got it.
drop
That's
a
the
lot.
one. This
and
is
when
the
they
one.
move forward like that,
Hunter.
if both guys drop, yeah.
Yeah, Alex, that's the one. You're right. Sorry, go ahead.
If both guys go to drop and think they're gonna bob and weave the time, a lot of headbutts happen, especially in MMA.
Mm-hmm. And then
That'd be
sometimes you,
Pikachu.
and then sometimes you
Boxing-
change your
Oh, and
level,
I'm sorry. All combat sports headbutts happen.
and then sometimes you change your level and catch a knee or a foot
Yep.
right in
Yeah.
the head.
I prefer the head. I prefer to hit your head than hit your knee.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've had this happen before. I've had it where my eye got hit in the eye socket, and then this one was just a little
Yeah,
bit
after your
higher, and the
makeup.
skin is so
If that's
thin
what you're
in that
asking.
area
Yeah,
of
on
the
your
eyebrow,
eyelid.
just a little
Yeah.
tiny pop. It's gonna split. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't train today because I didn't want to get infection or anything. A couple of days probably laying off of it would do good. And
Yeah,
then,
because other people sweat and.
well, not only that, because it's you obviously clean the mats and things like that every before training and after training, like you
But
disinfect
still.
all that. Still, it's just in that environment you constantly rubbing, and I can't keep the Neosporin on there. I'm
Or
like,
if you
oh,
hit it
don't touch
again
me.
and
Yeah.
like make it even worse than that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
you could
imagine hitting
potentially
the
make it
same
worse.
spot. That sounds so
Yeah.
painful, bro.
I mean, it doesn't hurt right now. Like you would think it would hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's swollen, but it doesn't hurt. So.
Did
I
it
don't know.
bleed a lot in the moment? Because I feel like the eyebrow is that one place that will not stop bleeding if you
Yeah.
like slit it open.
It did, but once it started bleeding, I just had this is what I'm saying. Like I grabbed the paper towel and then just kind of squeezed it and kept it there until it cauterized itself.
Yeah.
And that was that, really.
So how I was telling you my back hasn't been hurting? Oh, the day it starts again. Today it starts again.
Today's the day.
You jinxed
Today's the
it.
date. Yeah, I was telling her how my back hasn't hurt, even though I went to we've been working for 2 weeks or a week now since Christmas and stuff, and
Jinx yourself.
today will be the
Literally.
day that my back starts
Well, I
hurting
mean, you
again.
lifted like mad.
Mad
So-
weight,
Stuff,
mad
so-
weight.
So what
No
y'all guys
wonder.
think about Marc Anthony dating a 23-year-old girl right now?
Dating
dating a
23-year-old
23-year-old
How
girl.
old is Marc Anthony?
Like, I don't know, like
Like
50.
I think he's
something?
50,
Hold on,
maybe
let's look
late
it up.
40s, minimum 40s.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel like he's in his 50s. For
I
sure.
feel like he's
I
gotta
don't
be in
think he's in his
50s.
40s.
Hey, Miggy, can you pull up the girl's picture?
He is 54.
He's 54 and dating a
Ah.
23-year-old.
54. So
Marc Anthony's new
you
23-year-old
know, every time I
girlfriend.
hear those kind of like numbers, I just think. So he was
Yeah.
31 when this girl was born.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
a-
what goes through my brain initially. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a good thought or bad thought, but that's just it is what it is. I don't know how to put a label on that, but
Blanca
She
said
looks
not
hella
dating.
young.
Oh,
married. They're
he's
married.
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 Wow.
Oh, we're gonna have to do a look on this.
A little deep dive on that one.
Yo.
Yeah, they are engaged.
They're
Oh, so they're
engaged.
engaged. They're not married. Okay, cool. So we're getting some more facts coming in here. Can you share it on a screen for everyone to see?
I just pulled up the picture. Give me 1 second.
All right. So Miggy is gonna share that picture on the screen. But what do you guys
But
what do you
it
guys
looks
think
like they
about
are
that?
married by the seams of it.
Blanca. Blanca says they were married.
But Juana
He
says
said
that's
this
real
past
love.
weekend.
Hi. okay.
Oh,
That's
okay.
real
It's
love.
fresh.
I don't know about all that.
So what do you
Yeah,
got? What do you
that's
think?
love for the
What do you
money.
think?
That's real love for the money
All right.
Who's the
Love
girl?
for the money.
or the fame.
Nadia Ferreira. That's my mom's maiden name, Ferreira.
So
Either
Or
she's in love with
Ferreiras.
the money or the fame or both or I don't know.
That's crazy.
what do you think,
honestly.
Bailey?
That's the way that Eddie put it, that he was 31 when
31.
she was
He would have been
born.
31.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
If
That-
he's 54, she's 23.
Yeah.
That's like
31.
I don't know. If he had a daughter, that would be like the same
Wait, did you put the
age
picture
difference.
up?
Okay,
basically.
it's up.
Okay, we'll see it in a second. 'Cause I was about to say I didn't see it.
Nah,
Make you messing with
Hold on.
OBS, but anyway.
I'm messing
So
with
what
the
you?
setting.
Yeah. So you think it's messed up? Okay, there we go. Got the
She's
picture.
pretty though. That's the picture that I just saw.
Oh, she's hella pretty.
There we go.
But
She's
yeah, she's
super
a
pretty.
model. She's a
Yeah.
model. I saw here. It says she's a from Paraguay. She's a fashion model and a beauty pageant title holder.
wow.
Was crowned Miss University Miss Universe Paraguay 2021.
Yeah, she's pretty, but
Yeah. She don't look 23.
You guys like my
But
gringo
still.
Paraguay?
What does she look? How old does she look to you?
Still in her 20s, but not like 23.
Oh,
Maybe
you
a
think
little
she looks a little bit older?
Yeah, maybe a little older.
Really? Really?
I don't know.
I don't know.
can see what
She-
Bailey's saying. Like I
Like,
feel
she
like
looks-
she could look slightly older.
In
Because she
that-
looks young.
In that
Compared
no,
to,
in
like,
that
me
picture
and
she
Bailey,
looks a
she
little older, but the
definitely
one
looks
before,
more grown
One
than
at a
us.
time.
is
One
what
at a
I
time. One at a time.
want to say, you know, but she definitely looks young.
Yeah, she
So now,
looks young, but
does
she doesn't
she
look 23.
looks like I'm sorry, but she looks like his daughter.
Does she?
that's
Yeah,
true.
she does.
Now, does she not look younger because she's with him in a picture, or she like by
I think
herself
she-
doesn't look younger?
I think she generally just looks like a 25-year-old girl.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
she
she
looks like
looks
she's
young.
25, 26.
I
Yeah.
think
So
she's
who-
25
Mhm.
to 20. to
So
be
who do you
honest.
think
In
is
some of the
winning in
pictures, she
this
looks like 20.
situation?
What is what?
Who's winning? Okay, there we go. That's her.
What do you mean who's winning? They're just in a
You think
relationship.
Marc Anthony's winning?
Marc Anthony's doing what the fuck he wants because he's Marc Anthony.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
she's, I don't know.
Yeah, now that I know that she's like a pageant, this, that. At first I
Yeah.
was saying, oh, she's just doing it for the money and the fame. But clearly she must already have fame if she's like
Miss Universe.
Yeah, Miss Universe, Miss this, Miss that. Like she's a model. So yeah, I don't know who's. I'm guessing I want to say he's winning, honestly.
I mean, you're absolutely right, Calvin. Anything above 18 is free game. You're right. Yeah. Should he not use her for, as Jay says, recreational use? Sure, go ahead.
So,
Well, they get
so
married.
I mean,
so.
yeah. So her
Yeah, they get
fame being
married.
like
or
a
they got married this past weekend, said Blanca.
so yeah, being a pageant queen and whatnot. You know, like unless you're in the United States, I don't think you're gonna make that much money. Maybe you will. I don't know, but
Let's
how
see.
long
Let's
is
see
that
what her
fame
net
gonna
worth
last
is.
versus Marc Anthony's fame? You know what I mean? I think.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, I've
You know
never
what I'm
even
saying?
heard her. Marc Anthony, I feel like everybody knows, like,
Exactly.
regardless if you're Hispanic or not at this point. But
So and then, so here's this whole thing of like, you know, big. Oh, she's after the money, whatever. Well, I mean, is it wrong for her? Like she's pretty. This guy got money. He's willing to take care of her.
yeah,
She's
I
willing
mean,
to
no,
marry
I mean, it's
him.
wrong for her, but
If
I'm
that's
just
what she
saying.
wants, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
what's
just
wrong
saying
with
that's a possibility of why they're together.
Mhm.
But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
If there's a guy that's willing to give you that, then shit.
Do you think she would ever worry about? Oh, I need to work to pay bills or any of that stuff.
Hell
Probably
no.
not.
No.
Especially since she's Miss Paraguay or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I'm sure any guy would be with her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not any guy, but like
interesting.
I feel like it's
Interesting.
easy for her to get somebody.
So she is worth a couple million, according to some places. Only one. So I would say she's just worth a couple million, if that. Who really knows?
If that,
But she does.
she's
have
worth a lot more
bachelor's-
right now. She got married.
She has
She
a
gets a
bachelor's
divorce. She
degree
gets
in
half of it.
in commercial engineering.
Very nice, smart too.
She's
Wow.
a smart girl.
Nice. Probably
Okay,
coming from
okay.
a really good family.
Yeah, she is for sure. That's what I'm trying to look into more. But apparently, her mother and I'm sure it's her father.
So
is
what do
somebody.
you think Marc Anthony chose one that is like 23 versus 33?
See, but I mean, I have
Because I mean, given the
we
makeup,
we know
you're-
why he did. But like, there's also reasons on why you'd maybe want to choose a girl that's 33 versus 23 as your wife.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, even let's say a pageant winner that is age 33 no longer is in it, but she was and she won. I mean, you know the power of makeup. Like, you can make somebody look super young
So-
with just makeup, right?
Mhm.
So why do you think he chose somebody 23 versus a 33? Like basically, it's all makeup, right? Like at the end of the day.
Well, I think it wasn't necessarily like
yeah, I don't
why
think it was maybe just
23 versus
looks, but-
33. I think some of the reasons why he maybe not necessarily chose his girl because he had to choose him. She had to say yes to him too, right?
Well, did she though? Did she? Because
What do you mean?
I mean, obviously, if she's marrying this girl, I mean, there are these caliber girls that are around him. So
Honestly, though, I think she definitely had to say yes. Because, like, I don't care how much money he has, how much whatever. I am not sleeping with Marc Anthony for anything. He is ugly. I am sorry, but I don't care how much money. I don't care what life I would have. I am not sleeping with that man. I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be on the streets. That's my personal opinion. So she definitely agreed to it. And I'm sure there's other people that will say that because Lynette always says that he's ugly. Black always says he's ugly. My personal thing, I wouldn't be with him just for the money or the fame or anything.
yeah, but that opens the doors for you to life you would never imagine.
Okay, but that still means you have to sleep with Marc Anthony.
Mm.
Have you seen him? He's hideous.
I'm not.
And
I could care
nah.
less about what it looks like. All I'm saying is that he does have status. He does have the money. He does have respect of a huge community.
No, I get all that, but still, to me, it's not worth it.
He's
No,
got
I
swag.
agree.
I mean,
What?
you never talk to him in person,
I
so you
mean-
don't know what kind of swag he has. He could be very charming. He could be
That's
very
true, that's
funny.
true.
I'm sure he is. Guys who usually can sing and around that kind of crowd are more than likely.
And then
gonna know
in
how to
addition
talk.
to that, like all these hot girls around him, you know, that's another
I just said ugly is
validation.
an understatement. Thank you.
Give me 10K.
He said
I
what
sleep
swag?
with him.
Exactly. What swag? I feel like
Well, we none of us
Look
really
at
know
that
because we
photo.
don't know Marc Anthony.
Well,
we never
yeah,
met him and
but-
talked to
yeah.
him. Give me 10K, I sleep with him too. But
Calvin, you'll do anything for that amount of money. There's not many things.
is he
you
the
won't.
one with the waffle thing?
No.
No, okay.
that's
He was the one I was telling you
that's
that
the one
he
that
made
shows
fun
up
of
as
his.
Bob the Builder.
He's the one that
For
I was telling
5K?
you made fun of his brother for the mental illness.
Yeah.
When I got here.
I gave a guy
Asshole.
$10 today to
Asshole,
drink
Calvin.
water out of a garbage can.
What?
Why you did that? No way.
He gonna get some type
Ew,
of
he about
disease.
to, yeah,
He did
for
it.
real. Tomorrow, he
Well,
about
okay,
to,
it's kind of gross.
disease
Did you
for
record it at
$10.
least?
Yes.
you did.
Yes.
recorded
I
it?
did, yes.
Let's see the
Oh
evidence.
no, that's so cool.
See, I
Yeah,
like
that's
what-
true. Artists can always swing out
Yeah,
of their
I like
league.
what
That's-
Alex said. They can't
that's
swing out of
accurate.
their because why? Because they're in that like socio hierarchy.
I wasn't
you know what
going to record him, but he's a master of his craft. He said at least record it.
Oh, he said to
He
record
said that,
it?
not me.
Okay, that's different.
All right. Well, we need to.
At least
share
I know
that.
you weren't going to. That's good.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Alex. I mean, in socio hierarchically, you know, yes, he is up there. You know, hypergamy has no bounds, and if this girl, you know, that's the best she can find. Now, I'm gonna throw the curveball here. What if, let's say, a couple of years down the road, it doesn't work out and they decide to get a divorce? What do you think she can find somebody that's a Marc Anthony at that caliber after Marc Anthony?
I do
Yeah.
because
think
she
yeah,
did
she
it.
could
She
find
did it once,
another
so she could probably do it
singer
again.
or another.
Yeah, but then she's
whatever.
gonna be older. She's not gonna be 23 anymore.
But in 3
But
years she's still
She's
27.
only
Still
23.
so young,
She's
yeah,
only
that-
23.
in three
so
in
a
3
couple
years she's only
still young.
26, 27. So
Uh huh.
she'll be alright.
So she'll still
But
look
then
good.
don't forget, she was with Marc Anthony, which means that he showed her a type of a life. Now the other guys have to
That's what I mean.
have
and
to
that's
get
gonna
to
be
that level.
and that's
Or
gonna
more.
be and that's
Or
gonna
more.
and that's gonna be one of the reasons why she's gonna find another guy like that, or at least a
Well,
guy that can treat her like that.
Here's the question: how many guys are out there at Marc Anthony's
Not
level
many.
and above?
Not many, but guess what? How many girls are out like her and above? Not many. So
I mean,
she's
there's
in that. She's in that crowd, bro.
There is a
She's
Miss.
in that crowd. She
Yeah,
makes
but
millions
there's
of
a
dollars.
Miss. Yeah, but there's a Miss Paraguay every year. There's a Miss Uruguay every year. There's a Miss Honduras. There's
Yeah.
a Miss Colombia. There's Miss
But
Venezuela
look,
every
so
year.
I saw she made more money than she did the year she made the pageant this year.
What's that say again?
So in 2020, it said she made $1 million.
Mhm.
2021, she won the pageant.
Yeah,
sorry, no,
obviously
sorry.
she got the
No.
contracts, and that's how she made the money, a little
Let me
bit
be
more.
sure because I think it was.
Well,
she
he's
made
saying that he made less the year that she was in the pageant than this last year that she wasn't. Is what he's trying to say.
So she made more money this last year when she wasn't in a pageant.
Yes.
Yes, because she had the contracts because she won the pageant.
True.
So
Mhm.
the contracts started flowing in because she's on these magazines. She's getting
Mhm.
paid for it. But how long that fame is gonna last? Now, if she has a publicist, maybe if they correct her.
So I see one place says net worth is 1 million USD, but her another place says personal wealth is estimated to be around 2 million. And these are both 2023 though.
No, but that's not the matter. The matter is like it doesn't matter how much she's worth or whatnot. What it matters is she's dating Marc Anthony. Marc Anthony's probably gonna show her things that she's maybe never seen before, like introduce her to things maybe she's never done before, like show her a lifestyle she's never had before, and then let's say they break up. What else guy is gonna come in and then swoop in and at that level and above?
Another guy that makes millions of dollars. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of those guys out there, and
there's
she's
not,
gonna compete.
but she runs in that crowd, bro. She runs in that crowd.
But so is the youngest Paraguay winner and the Venezuela's winner and
Yeah,
the
but there's
Guatemala's
not a lot
winner.
of those girls.
There's more of those
There's
girls
only
than
one winner a
guys.
year, though.
What?
Is what I'm
There's
saying.
more millionaire girls than
No, there's more pageant or
There's
models
more pretty
that
girls
are
than guys. Is what he's trying to say.
Correct.
pretty
Than
girls,
guys that
but
make
she's
that
not.
money.
But she's not just a pretty girl.
No, he's saying there's more pageant winners because there's one every.
not
single
only pageant
year.
winners. She doesn't have to be a pageant winner. Yeah, let's say she's on Vogue. Not every model on Vogue is a pageant winner.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, she's a model and she's a pageant winner, is what it was saying. But I'm assuming she's mostly a
Well,
model.
they
That's
all
what
are
I would-
models to
Yeah.
begin with, and then they like, okay, well, let me try
Yeah.
this pageant thing, this XYZ, right?
And it specifically said fashion, so more than likely like actual, not like a lingerie or Victoria's
Yeah,
Secret.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
a,
yeah,
like,
which-
clothing model.
I mean, Miggy pulled up her Instagram. You didn't see any lingerie on there, so it was just
Yeah, you could tell it
actual
was, like,
clothing.
actual, like,
I'm
fashion.
sure the Miss Universes of those places are not gonna be posting lingerie.
No, that was her Instagram.
I'm just saying, like, they're not gonna be posting that kind of stuff. To be Miss Universe of their country, I'm sure they're not gonna be posting that. Especially
Yeah, so it's a
lot
lot
of
more
those
filtered,
yeah, I'm
a
sure.
little more
especially
conservative.
Yeah,
especially
because they're like
Latino cultures like that, bro.
they're the like the
You can't-
what's that called?
She couldn't shave her legs until she was over than 15.
Yeah.
They're strict. They're strict. They're strict.
No, I
the
get it, I
legs
get
they
it.
let me, but they didn't let me wax my eyebrows until I was 15.
So you had bushy eyebrows?
Yeah, she did. No, I'm just kidding.
I waxed my eyebrows, and like 3 weeks later, I already have a unibrow. Imagine what it was before ever getting it done.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Marc Anthony's winning, and if it doesn't work out, he's gonna get a couple of years older, and he's still gonna have his fame and money.
But she's winning. I think she's winning more than he is.
Well, right now she definitely won the lottery because Marc Anthony was the lottery.
Yeah.
Like he was the prize. Unfortunately, Marc
But
Anthony is the
but
price in this case.
I do think.
Because I'm sure he had the choice of many other good-looking girls, and he said, "You
But
know
I
what?
just
I'm
don't
gonna
feel
pick
like
you."
I feel like you're a little wrong on that. Like I don't think he had maybe the pretty girls, but girls of that stature, no.
But do you think he really cares about her stature?
No, he doesn't. But if
Exactly.
we put it that way, we have to look at the big picture.
That's what I'm saying. The big picture. He doesn't really care about her having that stature. He could have been just a
Yeah.
regular girl that's as
Not
pretty
not
and doesn't
necessarily.
have all those
I was
accolades.
thinking of that earlier. Not necessarily because she has the traits of already being looked at in the public and stuff.
Yeah.
That's something that a guy that's famous is gonna want in his wife, to be able to be okay with all these cameras constantly on us every time we go out in public, and her not freaking out. She's used to that kind of life. It's not a big change for her to go
Do
with
you
Marc
think,
Anthony.
though?
I don't. I don't think it was a big change for her.
No. I'm saying, do you think a rich guy, wants his wife like that in the spotlight?
No, not in the spotlight, but being able to be used to that lifestyle. Yes, that's a plus. That's definitely a plus for her to be
I don't see
able
the
to use
connection.
to that. What do you
I
mean?
don't
No,
see
I agree with him. I agree with him.
She's used to like all the eyes on that Marc Anthony. Not used to that, maybe that amount, but that kind of environment. You try and take Emily or Bailey and put them with a Marc Anthony and take them to a red carpet event, they're gonna have anxiety attacks,
For real.
and I know that for 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe not anxiety attack, but
You
I
would.
might be
I
like,
would have an
whoa.
anxiety attack.
You
for
would.
A
So what I'm
red
trying
carpet,
to say,
a red
what I'm
carpet
trying
with
to
mad
say-
cameras. Yes, I'll be like,
Yeah, but well, here,
That's
hear
a
me out.
plus, bro. That's
Hear
a
me out.
plus.
Yeah, that's cool. I get it, because you've never done that.
Yeah, you're right.
You've never done that. So let's say you've done it once or twice. You're kind of used to that environment. Let's say you were a model here and there on a local walkway where you did have all these cameras on your face and things like that. You were nothing at that caliber. You know what I mean?
But there's a lot of pretty girls that aren't models.
That's what I'm saying. There are a lot of pretty girls that are not models, and they're lot of pretty girls that think they're models, and there are a lot of pretty girls that really are models.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say you're somewhere on the lower end of saying, like, you're not really a model and you're just pretty. So you've had some sort of experience. Do you think it's going to really matter? It's just another day in cameras. With
So that-
cameras.
That's why I was saying, like, I don't think I would be that scared because growing up, I did modeling and, like, I went to a pageant. I went to Texas to do, like, this whole modeling convention. So, like, I feel like it's not that bad. I feel like if you have to, it's different. Like, even the podcast scares me more than the idea of going to a red carpet, honestly. Because, like, I'm sitting here talking.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
walking, and just looking pretty, I feel like it's so much easier than talking in
Yeah,
front
but
of a camera.
having cameras like click, 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 hey, hey, Emily, this,
I
and
don't
No,
know.
no,
hey,
I feel like
especially-
that would be, I don't
Especially
know.
if you have a team of people that put the makeup together, you're looking on fleek. What do you care about?
Your dress is
Yeah.
popping, got some custom made dress that's like
Exactly.
perfect.
Exactly.
I
What
don't
do you
know.
care about? You don't have to talk. You,
You just
have
gotta
to
walk
smile
and look
walk.
pretty.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, if anything's
And
wait,
what
be
Alex
like,
said,
hey.
why he has to be winning. It's not about winning. It's about hypergamy, just like I mentioned earlier, right? Like, you got a pretty girl that's marrying a guy that's not, by all means, considered that
could be
attractive.
her dad.
Is
Literally.
we heard it from them. That could be her dad. However, yet she chooses to say yes.
I wonder how
I do.
old her dad is.
It doesn't matter at this point. He could be younger than Marc Anthony. It doesn't really matter.
Oh my
The
God,
point
that's
is-
even weirder.
The point is, this pretty girl did not choose somebody of lower socioeconomic status. She chose Marc Anthony. So obviously, they didn't come together to build a relationship. Obviously, she saw something in him. Is like, okay, well, I am willing to marry this guy because he can provide X, Y, Z. Otherwise, she was never gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
They would be asking some crazy questions too, and she would have to be prepared for that. I mean, yeah, if she wants to answer them.
Yeah, if
She
not,
doesn't
can
have
just
to
ignore
answer the
them. That's
questions.
true.
She could just smile and walk away. That's about it. So she doesn't have to
That's
answer
very
those
true.
That's
questions.
Yeah,
So
if she feels comfortable, she answers them. If not, she's like, and like hides.
yeah, the bottom line is it's not. He's winning because he got a super pretty girl, and he's winning in life because he has all this money, status, and accolades. This is why he's winning, in comparison to a lot of other guys in the world. He's doing really well. He's
She's
winning.
tall, 5'9".
Yeah, and
She's
he's
a model.
shorter.
How tall is Marc Anthony?
I'm sure he's shorter than
I
And
know
plus,
he's short.
think about it. She wears 3-inch heels. She's at 6.
6 foot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm technically too short to be a model, and I'm 5'6.5", 5'7".
Yeah. So
I
she
will, there goes my
literally,
dream.
she literally demonstrated all those, standards. I want a guy that's 6 foot tall, that's nice, wants to love me, be with me. Marc Anthony has a record of a homemaker.
But I
Straight
feel like,
up.
I feel like when you're dating somebody that much older, that's at the point that I feel like, I mean, there are women out there that like older men, like extremely older men, But I feel like it's very rare. But if it's that point that you're willing to date somebody so much older than you, you don't really care how tall they are. You don't really care. Like, you just, I don't know. You
Hey,
know what I
Mickey.
mean?
Miggy, Alex is asking a lot of questions. Go ahead on Google and look up hypergamy and give me the definition of it. They didn't just meet and they didn't just like each other.
That's
it doesn't
bullshit.
work that
You don't
way.
know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that.
They-
You don't fucking
does-
know that.
it
bro.
doesn't
They
work.
You're
definitely
absolute
could've.
bullshit.
She knew exactly
How
who
did-
Marc
how did-
Anthony is.
Bro.
Okay,
before
that's
they
all.
were
Of course,
dating.
of course
Everybody
she
knows
did.
who Marc Anthony
He
is.
knew who
Of course
she
she
is.
did.
And I'm
But-
sure he made strides to attract this girl, and then he saw something in her, and then said, "You know what? She could be my wife." Because, as I said, I
Bro,
don't
you
think he has a
just-
shortage
but
You
of
just
could've
hypergamy.
downright explained that they saw each other and liked each other.
Yeah.
You just made it complicated.
No, but she would never.
You literally just made it
She would
complicated.
never go out with me or marry me. She married Marc
Duh.
Anthony, not because she liked him. It wasn't just because she liked him because the way he looks or the way he talks. There was a lot more to it.
Okay, but she
Okay, I'm
liked
sure,
him.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I get
still
what
just
Jay is
liked
saying,
him.
because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure since the moment she was born, being in a Hispanic household, she's been listening to his music and has
Yeah.
known who he is her entire life.
Okay.
But
Okay.
she
Alex,
probably
it's
just-
possible that she simply just saw him at
What
some
is it-
event
what is
and
it
was
read?
like, you know
What-
what, I kind of like you. But then again, it doesn't make sense because she's known about him all her life.
Go ahead and read that description for me. Hypergamy.
The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background.
Thank you. So let's go back to the. So no, I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. But now we're gonna prove it to Alex, right? We're just gonna do a little social experiment. Do you want a guy that's more ambitious than you? That's gonna reach for something in his life,
Not necessarily more ambitious than me, but definitely
Has
somebody who
ambition?
is ambitious. Yes,
or does the guy have already like established something,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
Do you want a guy that's taller,
preferably.
preferably, right, but not necessarily, right?
I mean,
Do you want a guy that's charming?
either my height or taller.
Do you want a guy that's charming?
Yeah.
Do you want a guy that's funny?
I'm not charming
Yeah.
at all.
Do you want a guy that got his shit together?
I don't got that.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I'm saying is going like against him at the moment, but yeah.
The bottom line, what I'm trying to say, in any which way, you're looking for somebody that's superior in qualities to you,
Mhm.
Not
which is
necessarily,
explanation of
bro.
hypergamy. Literally, we just read the hypergamy explanation.
Yeah, doing that act, but the girl, like, on the majority of the time, women marry up.
Up, correct. That's
Right.
that's
The
hypergamy.
majority of the time.
Yeah, that's
Right.
really the.
But
that's
not
what
every
hypergamy-
Not
girl
always.
marries because of that,
So you're telling me a girl would marry a bum,
bro. Yes,
Bro, if
I've
they
seen
fell in
girls
love
marry
with him,
fucking
then
bums.
yeah.
Yes, bitch.
and then what
I've seen
happens?
plenty of
And then
girls
what
marry
happens with
bums.
those relationships?
She takes care of her bum. I've seen it.
And how long does that last?
I've seen for a long time.
And
And
they're
I've
okay.
Kids
seen-
and all. Kids and all. He plays
So
Xbox.
on
at home.
overall, yeah. Are there 5 relationships that you can point out that happens? 100%. But are there 8 billion other relationships that doesn't happen?
But
Yes.
my problem is you're putting too much emphasis on like she's only marrying to go up. No,
Yeah,
bro.
She is.
No,
No,
that's
not
absolutely
always.
fucking
Not
wrong.
always.
You're telling me Emily's with me because she wants to get a better opportunity? No, because she fucking loves me and I love her. And that's as simple as that.
I
You
get
talk a
you.
lot of shit about this and that
My
and love, and that is absolutely wrong, Jay. Absolutely wrong.
It's not, bro.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
telling you.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
How-
Absolutely fucking
First
wrong.
of all, when I met Eddy, I'm the one that made the first move. Technically,
Mm-hmm.
I met Eddy by seeing him at the mall. Had
Yes.
no idea
She didn't meet me.
who the heck he was,
Yes.
who
'Cause
his
you were
family
young.
was, if he had money, if he nothing.
Yeah, because you were guys young, right? Like, don't say
But
what
I
age.
mean-
I don't want to bring this up, all right? Don't say what age it was, but you were pretty young, right? Let's just put it this way.
I mean, yeah, but I still
Okay.
like, I don't know.
Jay
Yeah.
got some tight pants.
Yeah, that's Corey, my buddy Corey. Just for you, Corey. So at that point, then yeah, I agree. When you're kind of young, you don't really look at those accolades of a guy because you're pretty young. You're still kind of running around this
I
and
mean,
that.
you'd be surprised. Like, there was girls in my middle school while I was like when I just started with
A
Eddy,
lot of
that
girls
they would
are like
already
what
be-
you're
Allegedly,
saying.
allegedly, they started in middle school. Allegedly.
A lot of girls are like what you're saying. I
Huh?
get that.
Yeah.
But not all people are like that, Jay. Not everybody's like that.
No, I agree that not everybody is like that. I'm not saying everyone, but overwhelming majority of people.
And that's bad
Women
thing.
usually
That's a bad
marry
quality.
up.
And that's
It's
a bad
not
quality.
a bad quality. All I'm saying is not a bad quality.
If you're doing it for that purpose only, yeah, it's a bad quality.
What do you mean?
And
Every
that's
single
why so many men are single.
every
so
single
many
one of
men are
those
single.
majority of
Miserable.
relationships that happens, this is why they're doing it. They're not gonna go marry a bum. I'm just telling you, they're not gonna go marry a. The majority of relationships is because girl meets boy, girl sees something in a boy, and usually those things are tall, charming, funny, got some sort of ambition or got his shit together. Those are like the top couple of things, and then there's other things that girls have to check off. He's wearing the proper shoes, proper shirt.
Yeah.
His socks are matching. His
Yeah.
teeth are clean, so on and
These
so
girls
forth.
are stupid.
There's well, but that's how it is.
Bro, but that's
Whether
not
you
right.
wanna agree-
If that's not right,
Yeah,
though.
we're not talking about what should, could, would. What I'm saying,
Well, we're talking about, we're
is.
just talking. And I'm just saying what
Or
I'm saying.
what is. So every girl that you know that's in a relationship
No,
and
not every girl.
saw something in a partner, correct? And those are usually the number 4 things, the top 4 things that girls usually look at. And first thing when the girl meets a guy, first thing immediately in your head, you don't think about this, but they do. Oh, is this a nice guy? Can I have a relationship with him? Can I get married with this guy? Doesn't matter. Every single girl
Would he
thinks
be a
about
good
this.
dad?
Yeah, every single girl thinks about this.
You're just
Yes,
looking
well, you
for-
kind of have to generalize everything. So talking about the generalizing,
No, you can't generalize.
No.
What?
our world
What?
is
We
generalized.
know, no.
Think
we
about
know
it.
we have to look at
Think
what
about
is and
it.
what isn't.
Think about it. When you're driving down the road and you see signs for the road to take a right or to the left, right? Those signs are generalized for everyone to understand because that's how the world works. You have to generalize a lot of things to start understanding what's going on. Is there individual? Does a person have individual preferences? 100%. However, in majority of the time, those preferences fall within the 10 points of the category.
So I want to ask you, how do you know the majority of people marry this way?
There are books on it. You can read them.
Books
I don't
based
want to
on
bring
what?
them up, but there are.
But I'm saying books based on what? What studies? Like what?
Evolutionary psychology. Statistical studies of evolutionary psychology where they question people. I mean, you can just look them up. I'm talking about studies upon studies upon studies about hypergamy. It's just what it is.
Oh, by the way, one of the biggest things about evolutionary psychology, the nurture side is very only believe only nurture matters, right?
No, only nature matters on evolutionary psychology. That's what they believe on.
You're absolutely wrong. I listened to the book you sent me. In the beginning of the book, it specifically says evolutionary psychologists do believe nature and nurture are equally as
important. But evolutionary psychologists, a lot of times when they do talk, a lot of people get upset because they're bringing in the nature side of it, not only the nurture side of it. A lot of people like to think that this is some sort of a social conditioning, that we're growing up this way.
That's what I was going to say. The nurture side does believe nurture is the only thing.
Correct.
You're right.
Evolutionary psychology believes in both.
Exactly.
Yes. And when he does bring in the nature side of it, a lot of people get pissed off because the nurture side, where Alex is coming out and saying, oh, well, they just met and they just liked each other.
I absolutely agree with that. That could happen.
That could happen. But 90% out of 100
absolutely not
is
that
not.
much. No, bullshit. 95, 90, bullshit. I call bullshit on that.
I don't. Look, you can look it up. You got the iPad on you. You can do the research. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'll switch the topic while you're looking that up.
All right, I have something. I wanted to ask you guys. So you guys know how Oregon back in, I think it was 2020, a couple years ago, about 3 years now, they legalized all hard drugs.
Yes.
You guys know about
was it all hard drugs or just like mushrooms and
no, all hard drugs,
all
cocaine, heroin, meth, all that, all that. They're literally hard drugs. Yeah. What do you? I mean, I have my own kind of opinion on this, but what do you guys think?
I think it's freaking crazy.
That's some crazy shit.
That's not the only state though that is like that, right? Isn't Amsterdam like that or no?
Well, Amsterdam is not a state in United States.
I
Are you
mean-
talking about United States or the world?
I mean,
But I know they're.
Let's say
I
United
didn't know
States.
the
Let's say United States.
Full hard.
but I'm
hardcore.
saying there's other states that have that, correct?
I don't know.
I don't
Oregon
know.
was the
I don't
first
think
one.
so. Oregon was
And
the
it's the
first
only
yeah.
one?
Really?
I think Oregon is the only one that has like
I feel like
all
I've
those
heard
drugs
another
legal.
state is like
Yeah.
that, but I don't know. I think that's insane.
Other states do have like mushrooms, specifically, but not like meth and cocaine.
Crazy drugs
and-
like that. That's
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? I'm gonna look up the exact law so I can explain to you guys, but let me get a second.
Like the amount of people that are addicted to it and like overdose and whatever on like while it's illegal. Imagine when it's legal.
yeah.
Like the level.
No, I agree with what you're saying. There's some valid points to that, but at the same time, look at tobacco and alcohol. They're probably like the number one drug out there, right? Because we can consider tobacco and alcohol as a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in California, yeah, Alex is right there. In California, they have sites where people can go and they get like clean and sanitized needles and things like that where they can shoot up and so on and so forth. Now, with that being said, like, you know, alcohol and tobacco are probably the hardest drugs that you can possibly find out there. A lot of addiction to both, you know, so on and so forth. So the question is, are people going to use it? Well, the benefit of that is you can tax it. So now you can get tax money out of that, right? So it depends how you look at it. What are you thinking about there, Eddy?
So with my question, so yeah, there's a lot of like tax chance and this and that, and I do believe, you know, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do, in a sense.
Well, that's the argument. As long as
yeah.
you're not harming the other person next to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
now,
you know,
where do you, since we're talking about nurture versus nature, where do you draw the line of harming? Because your harm doesn't need to be just physical harm, right? It can have emotional harm as well.
exactly.
So how do you draw the line?
That's what I was gonna say. Letting these drugs just be a thing, like alcohol does to plenty of people. With plenty of people become alcoholics, and they are super aggressive, and they drink and drive. There's a lot of bad things that could happen by letting this become a loud thing. I'm not sure which they should do, but I believe they need to either make it all legal or make it none of it legal. Say nobody should be taking drugs. Now, that's a really hard thing because, like, who are you to tell me? But I find I'm like, I don't know which one to pick, but I think those are the two ways they should do it. You either need to be like, you guys do whatever, and that would make it to where people stop dying off of a lot of ODs on lace shit, like fentanyl and all those things we're seeing now. Because, believe it or not, drugs like cocaine and mushrooms are something, if it's pure, you have to take a lot of.
So
You gotta do a lot of it to really fuck yourself up or necessarily OD. But and
so she's probably still talking about the subject we were talking about before.
yeah, and I was looking at what Alex
so
said.
the thing is, I was watching an episode on, I think it was like a Netflix. They were just like following drug dealers, and one of the drug dealers were saying the way he gets people to come back to him is like when he's selling the first batch, he'll take one, whatever it is, a heroin or whatever, and he'll lace it to the point where somebody uses it and they're OD and they die. So it tells everyone around that he has the strongest ones, so they keep coming back to him to buy, even though it's just normal what he was selling a week
Damn,
before.
that's crazy.
That is
Usually, I would think it's
crazy.
the opposite. Like, somebody would think, like, oh, shit, his stuff is bad. It's laced. He just OD'd off of it. Maybe
Yeah, I
we should
wouldn't
stay off of
go-
it. But it's crazy. It kind of makes sense. Them crackheads out there would be like, oh, he got the extra good.
Yeah, he's got the
Extra
strongest
strength.
one, yeah. And that's why
That
there was-
shit's extra spicy.
in other countries they offer counseling and therapy. Yeah, so in
Yeah.
other countries they offer counseling and therapy. I don't think our system is set up for that.
No, we're not. Because we're not
'cause-
very accepting of those things.
Yeah, because it comes down to taxes.
Yeah.
Right? It comes
And,
down to my
you know,
taxes, your
I
taxes.
saw the other day, I was hearing on a podcast how, I don't remember which one it was, but how the one of the biggest reasons they made marijuana illegal was before, like, when hemp is legal, but was because it's not only gonna fuck big pharma, it fucks a lot of industries in the sense of it how good and uses for like tensile strength. Like I saw the other day there was a plane they made out of hemp, so they use hemp like fiberglass.
Well,
You
they're
guys know
already using
fiberglass.
clothes out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hemp they use a lot, but that's one of the biggest reasons they didn't want marijuana, because it was gonna fuck big pharma and the other
Well,
side.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Chad will tell me. Fact check this one, Chad. But I think the way it happened, it was a war between cigarettes and alcohol companies against the
Big tobacco.
big tobacco and alcohol against the weed, and they ended
Yeah.
up lobbying, and then they ended up winning.
Yeah.
That's why the weed didn't get.
You know, talking about lobbying, I loved Mr. Beast the other day. He was like, you know, if I became president, that would end lobbying in this country, like all the lobbyists in this country. Because who's going to give me money? Who's going to tell me with something to do with money? No, I'm going to just do what's right for the people. You saw what he was doing? He's curing, he's going around the world curing blindness.
Who is this?
Curing
You know
blindness.
Mr. Beast is, right?
Yeah.
So he went to a bunch of different countries, and he's been going, and you know, a lot of people in the world have curable blindness.
Mhm.
So something like cataracts or a bunch of other diseases. That are curable with some surgery. You'll see again. No glasses necessary or anything like that, or sometimes glasses, but whatever. You're seeing again, right? And none of these countries have anything to help these people. And
Yeah.
he went around, and he, I think I'm gonna look up the numbers.
Well, no, that makes sense. Well, that's cool. I mean, like when you get to that point, I think I looked up, and in 2020 he made $54 million, from just his YouTube and whatever other stuff he's got going on. When you're making that kind of money at $54 million a year, I think that's pretty much where at that point is just money is a hobby for you. You don't really need anything. So you
And
you
he's
can,
not a
you can
materialistic person.
You can do philanthropy, yeah.
He was saying how he didn't get a nice house until he got robbed at his apartment. So he I need security at this point.
Yeah, he's a
So-
minimalist, yeah.
Yeah, but exactly. He's a minimalist. He doesn't care where he drives. He doesn't care where he lives. None of that.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't know. Go a little more into that whole paper company thing. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Alex. But
Paper companies in the sense of marijuana, that they can use marijuana and hemp to make paper.
okay, in that sense, okay, yeah, because I thought they were lobbying against it. That's why I didn't understand. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
in a
when you
sense,
make
yeah,
it,
they were. Yeah.
because I mean, technically, if you're making if your net worth is $20 million at this point, and you're making some sort of money, that's why your net worth is $20 million, right? Let's say you're not a trust fund baby at this point, unless you want a private plane and a private yacht, you don't really need anything. But when you're making 54 a year, like at that point, yeah, philanthropy,
He
no problem.
cured 1,000 people's blindness across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He went to a bunch of different countries and over.
That's good. I'm sure it's a start for him.
He also does all the food stuff too, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, I mean, anyone in their right mind would do that.
I saw it when he was on Andrew Soul. They were talking about philanthropy, and Andrew just kept making jokes about like, I'm good. He's like, doesn't donate shit, so I'm good. I don't know. I mean, it's weird when you're at that level of money. You're like, yeah, I want to give back, but at the same time, we see the amount of corruption within all these all these things that get taken advantage of by the people running it, and end up getting them rich off of the money that was supposed to be going to people in need.
Random question: would a society without guilt be a better society?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because as humans, we need guilt, we need sadness, we need happiness, we need all those things.
Well, why guilt?
Because if we didn't feel bad, it would cause us to do harm to others constantly.
Yeah, I feel like if you make a bad decision and you don't feel guilty about it, you just will continue to do it. There's no like, oh, I learned my lesson, I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I feel like people will be more, like, ruthless and, like, YOLO, fuck it, whatever, because they're, like, not going to feel bad about it. Like, there might be consequences, but they're like, oh, I don't care. Like, you know?
Here's a contrarian opinion. What if someone is gay and they feel guilty by saying that because they were brought up one way or another way? How is that benefiting that person?
Doesn't. Absolutely not. It's very harmful for that person.
For certain things, guilt isn't the best, but I feel like we need to have it in general. If not, people would be more assholes than they already are.
Numb. Everybody would just be numb to everything.
Sometimes it's not good. Sometimes you feel guilty about something you maybe shouldn't.
I mean, I don't think we would be numb because, like, he's only taking away guilt. He's not taking away, like, being sad, being happy.
I think taking away guilt would make us pretty numb.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you don't feel guilty, you're not really feeling, like, sad about anything. Like, what is there to...
But then again, guilt, wouldn't that impose the social norms that we're trying to break out of, such as hypergamy?
What do you mean? Explain that more. I don't understand the question.
So social norms are social norms, right? When you have guilt, you kind of follow these social norms, like don't
do this,
don't steal, don't kill, don't cheat, so on and so forth,
you.
right? Now, if you don't have guilt, right, or don't feel bad because you are LGBTQ, you know what I mean? Don't feel guilt because of that, or don't feel guilty because you said something and somebody's feelings got hurt, right? Those are the social norms. But without guilt, you wouldn't have those imposing social norms. Now everyone can say, well, it is what it is. This is how I am. This is who I am. It would prove more the individualistic part of.
That's why I said, I don't, guilt isn't always a good thing. Absolutely not. But when you feel guilty because you accidentally were driving drunk and you killed somebody, you should be feeling guilty at that time. But if you're guilty because you spoke up about something you felt strongly about, but then were shut down by everybody around you, you shouldn't be feeling guilty at that time. That's not a time you should feel guilt, but you are feeling that guilt.
So where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
You don't.
Who gets to decide?
You don't decide.
There is
no one to decide. That's just
it's
how
just
we are.
A feeling. It's just
well, wouldn't those same feelings be instilled in you because of the guilt that you have?
But
of?
It's not, everybody's not like that, because there's some people that don't feel guilty about nothing. Like, they do whatever the hell they want, and, like, they don't feel guilty.
AKA
or at
sociopath.
least they don't express that they are. Maybe deep down inside they feel guilty, but they still try and, like, show that they aren't.
Well, the sociopaths you mentioned, that's a very small portion of society, right? Majority of people are not like that. And they do have the dark triad traits, yes.
What's his name? Andrew, the one to be talking to Joe all the time.
The who?
God damn it! I want to know his name. I want to know it. I'm sorry.
But I didn't hear what you said.
But he
before.
said, based on some stuff he was talking about
Oh, Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson. Yes, I was listening to him and Joe just had a talk less than a week ago. Based on what he was talking about 4% of people in the world are going to be sociopaths.
Yes. Remember when I was telling you the 4% of the society is this or that or the other? It's very small percentage of the society.
Not always. Not in every study.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at the very extremes.
Yeah, extremes. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
like
the 4% of the extremes, right? So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're
he wasn't
technically
basing it on the.
there's
basing it
technically
on the
statistical
extremes, though,
outliers, and they're not important. However, sociopaths do cause a lot of harm out there.
Yeah.
You know, the statistical outliers do.
I believe
So again, they feel no
Because
guilt at all.
I believe a sociopath can be a very productive person because they know how to manipulate and don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, they don't have the they don't have the social
have a lot of.
calibration.
They can have a very productive life, if you want to put it in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, doing harm to others.
Did you know they also did a study? Now I don't know how many people they were looking at. Just read about it as an article. It was saying that people that post a lot on Instagram, constantly like selfies and things like that, they on average are less smart, not intelligent, but less smart, IQ wise, and they also have the narcissistic tendencies.
Explain the not smart and narcissistic.
So not smart. So smart.
Not smart versus intelligent.
So smartness, you can measure that on an IQ level test, right? Like there's a Raven test and whatever. You can sit down and measure someone, right? You know, 100, below 100, below 70, over 100, 125, so on and so forth, right? You can measure that. But it doesn't mean that you're intelligent just because you're smart, right? It just means that you are smart. You just have a lot of knowledge. Now, narcissistic means that you only care about yourself. Like, you know, when you come and talk to people, you feel like, oh, these people should be happy that I'm talking to them because I'm such a great person. So that's basically,
you look at yourself as a higher person.
You think of them, they should be honored by talking to you, right? That's narcissistic. So what they found is that a lot of times the people that post a lot on Instagram, meaning selfies, pictures like that and things like that, they're on an average lot less smart on IQ level and also have narcissistic tendencies, which means they feel that they're better than everyone else.
I can see the narcissistic tendencies, especially how we were talking about the other day, how a lot of people, how we were saying, this guy said on a TikTok that he believes that the majority of people who post their relationship a lot on social are the ones who aren't happy. And I can think that can kind of tie into the whole narcissism thing. Because usually a narcissist really is just insecure about themselves and is trying to put themselves on that pedestal
And
most
get
of the time.
validation
Well,
from others.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, so a clinical psychologist, so I wouldn't know exactly like how. But I'm sure there's some trauma there in a family, or they were just born that way, right? Again, the 4% of society, anyway. But that's that. Hey, Miggy, do you have any of those videos up that we had? Just play one. And tell us, guys, if you're getting the sound through, right? I don't know which one he's gonna.
Did you
pick.
add
We have a
that
couple.
the sound of the app, Miggy? You have to add the video and the sound. Oh.
What did you test? We don't know if it'll actually capture it.
We'll just have
Run
to
it,
just
run
capture
it,
Just
and
run
we'll
it.
get
Just
the-
add
How
it.
are we gonna watch it though?
Add it into the inputs.
I'll put the volume up.
Just add it as an input, and it
You have
is.
the
I got the
remote?
controller. Yeah, I'll put it up once they switches the scene and the video starts playing. I'll turn it up. Did you add the sound?
I unmuted it first.
unmute the clip too. Unmute the clip.
On the bottom of the.
Unmute the TV.
Did you add the
Nope.
sound?
The clip is still muted.
Yeah, no sound.
Hold on, the clip was muted though.
On the bottom of the.
You still can't hear it there?
Clip is still muted.
Yeah, no sound.
Hold on, the clip was muted though.
Okay. Let me add the audio capture.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
you're
you
gonna
have to add
switch
that.
switch back to us, and then you do your.
I can't
thing.
do that.
Oh.
Yeah, because you gotta stay on the scene to change the audio capture on this
Oh.
scene.
All right, guys. Bear with us. So he's
Yeah.
gonna run this clip. I thought it's pretty funny.
They might not
I'm
be
gonna
able
want to
to
hear
right
your
now.
thoughts about it, about the beginning and the end. But
I mean, you can read what she's saying.
But we can't see the other part of the video.
yeah, you can't see the other part of the
That
other part
doesn't
of the
have
video.
Yeah,
is
it's not
part of it.
capturing the audio. I'm gonna go back.
Okay, go back.
Okay, well, in the meantime, I have a question.
Yeah.
What would you do if you went to sleep and woke up in 8th grade? Like back
I can't
when
hear the video.
With all the
Right,
knowledge
right.
I have.
the topic
Or you
that
just
was
wake up
given
as an
to
eighth
us
grader.
was just like that. What would you do if you went to sleep and woke up in
Bro.
8th grade?
I would take 8th grade. I was working already on the weekends.
Well,
Making
no.
a
The
couple
question
$100
is,
I would take every dollar I had, and it's going into bit at that moment.
a Bitcoin.
Yep. And when that bitch hits that 60,
64,000?
64, 60,
But
60,000
before you hit
mark,
that 64,000, it went
Sell
down.
it.
I think audio went down after that last switch. I don't know why. Hold
on the actual video, like they can't hear
Yeah.
us.
They can't hear
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
it's
they
fine.
can
they
still
can
hear
hear
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can still hear us on
Okay.
YouTube.
So
I would invest into
Audio glitch for the AirPods then.
okay. I would invest into a bunch of different stock and stuff like that, and I would be rich off of all that. And now, at 20
Y'all
years
can
old.
answer this in the chat too. I'm curious.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
So what would you do? But well, see, this is what I want to know. When you're going back to your 8th grade, do you have the same knowledge, or you just revert
yeah,
back
that's,
to your
that's
8th
what I was
grade?
gonna say. Like, where do you guys want to put that? Well, with what he's
Well-
saying, I'm assuming it's with his knowledge from now.
Of course, yeah.
Well, no,
So-
if you have the knowledge now, then obviously you're gonna be rich as hell by the time you're the same age right
but
now.
if you
right?
go back with the knowledge you had back then, it's no different than now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Would it though?
No,
would
you
there be
wouldn't-
like
you-
different paths
No,
you would take?
I mean,
mean,
it's possible.
I mean, how they say the drop of a dime can change the history, you know. But
Yeah, butterfly effect.
but if you don't know, it's more than likely gonna go exactly the same, unless the probability
Yeah.
of when something was gonna happen changed because of the.
We
We're
just
talking
got-
about some multiverse shit. at
we're
this
gonna
point,
we're
bro.
gonna hit the reverse
You wanna-
button on the simulation and see what happens.
You wanna reverse?
Yeah, I think if I went back with all the knowledge that I had right now, I would probably spend less money. Number one.
But in
That's-
8th grade, were you spending money?
Well, I mean,
As
you
you get
going back,
older.
as
Oh,
you
okay,
get
okay,
older
okay.
with life, spend less money. Number two, probably would be less questioning myself with things that I did in my life, meaning like that turned out to be well. I would have taken a much faster risk and do that. On top of that, yeah, Bitcoin, all that. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin. I would just get Bitcoin and pay that guy for the pizza, and that's it, and keep all the Bitcoin. You know this? You don't
What?
know this,
What do you mean?
bro. You don't know this.
I don't know
All
what
right,
you're
so.
talking about. Pizza
So this
with
when
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin just came around, it was I think like 0.006 cents per Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was like those.
So this guy
Or Dodge,
wanted-
whatever.
wanted to kind of start pushing this whole thing about paying with Bitcoin. He got on Twitter and said, "Who's willing to buy me and
Red
send me
pill.
2 pizzas and I will pay you in Bitcoin?" No one responded back. So he posted it second time on Twitter or Reddit, one of the social medias back then, right? Who's willing to buy me 2 pizzas, send it to my address, and I'll pay you with Bitcoin? And a second time somebody took it. And I think it was something ridiculous, like 10,000 Bitcoin or something, like outrageous amounts of Bitcoin. Outrageous amounts of Bitcoin. So at that
I
point,
wonder what it's at now.
I think it was 20,000 last to
Oh,
look.
wait, it's going up?
Well, it went down a lot from what it was up. So it went up
Well, I
to
know.
like 23, 24, and then went
But
down.
it was under 20.
It was under 20, so it went up to 24 and then started going down again.
I saw it. It didn't hit around 16, lowest.
I
I'll
don't
take a
remember,
look.
but it
I'm
hit
gonna take a look.
16, yeah, on the low. But yeah, so the guy got basically ton of Bitcoin, which he later ended up
That's
selling,
23.
I think. Yeah, he ended up selling any later for like, I think when he hit like a penny or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but he ended up like, profiting from this. But it's like, see, this is what you can do with Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, it went up to $64,000. So yeah. You would literally be a billionaire. You would be like the richest person in the world.
Jay would be like, "You want pizza? I got you, homie."
Hey,
Run with the pizza.
Yeah, bro. You give
Even
him a
if he's in a whole nother country, I got you. I might take a few days, but I got you.
pizza.
Yeah, I was
Book the
around.
next flight
It was
out.
around 17. Low.
Yeah, lows.
A month ago,
Yeah.
and it's up at 23,101 right now.
So I would buy the damn pizza for the guy.
Yeah,
Number
Even
one.
if you got a UPS, FedEx, whatever it is, ship it to
Continue.
him.
I'll take it to his house. I'll fly from whatever state I'm in, go pick up the
Whatever
pizza,
country.
and I'll take it to him.
Yeah, so, but then how would you convince your parents this is what you're going to do? Because your parents don't know what's going on. Only you do.
Bro,
Shit.
them $20 I pull here and there, you know how much money that would be right now?
Yep.
A lot of fucking money.
And then remember, Bitcoin at one point went up a lot. And then, like, I think it went to 20 and then crashed down to 4,000 and then went back up to 64.
That's so
Eight-
crazy
eight-
though.
8 years ago, I would have been 8th grade. Let's see what Bitcoin was.
That's like how people tell you, like, say, like, oh, if I had the knowledge I have now when I was your age, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, people always say that whole thing. But, like, imagine actually going back and having the knowledge you had now and being in middle school with the knowledge that you have now.
But see, so,
First
okay.
of all, I feel like you would
It
drop
was
out of
40
school.
cents.
Yeah.
It was 40 cents, bro.
First of all, I feel like you would drop out of school because if you have the knowledge you have now, trying to sit in 8th grade with all these, like, immature little kids, like, you would be like, I can't do this. Like, I feel like you would just drop out of school
100%.
and, like, start
School
your
who?
own business, do some crazy
For
thing.
what?
And, like,
I already got my degree just in another universe.
I would invest right away into those fidget spinners for 2 years.
Bro, yeah, I would make
If
so
schools
much
were
money.
optional, would y'all go?
Huh?
If school was optional, would y'all go?
The school is optional right now, right?
No.
no, it's optional until, I mean, it's mandatory until I think 10th or 11th. After that's when you can,
Somewhere there.
16.
after that is when you can drop out.
Really?
Yeah.
When you're
Oh, I
16.
thought it was
As long as your
mandatory
parents
until,
sign for
like,
it.
So
I
what if your parents
graduated.
are homeschooling you?
I mean,
Hmm.
then, I don't know.
Oh,
If they're
no.
homeschooling and you decide not to take your GEDs or whatever it is that you have to take, then what?
I mean,
So
honestly,
it is kind of
I feel
optional.
like a lot of kids who
Well,
are
it's not
homeschooled-
optional for the kid. It's optional for the parent, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The parent says, I'm going to homeschool my kid, but at home, they're not teaching him anything. They're saying that they're doing it, but they're
yeah,
not doing
yeah,
it.
they can do that.
Yeah, I know
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
that did that,
So-
and then they went to some other school and just got a GED.
No. I'm saying a parent is teaching the kid at home, teaching it, and
Mm-hmm.
saying that I'm homeschooling my kid, but in reality, they're not doing that. They're just saying that they're doing that.
Well, at that point, like, to be
I think
homeschooled,
certain states regulate it too.
yeah, to be
Yeah.
homeschooled, like here, you have to do it through like FLVS or one of those programs
Yeah.
Mhm.
because
where like you still speak to like a counselor and you're still part of a school.
You still
Yeah.
have
Like, I
to
know people
submit
that were
I see what
stuff
you're
yeah,
saying.
and-
when you are homeschooled, I was about to say that your parents don't necessarily teach you everything.
No.
They
Mm.
outsource that stuff. You just do it from home.
Yeah,
I had
like,
a
I know
buddy-
people who were homeschooled,
I had
but they were
one of
still
my
part
best
of
friends-
St. P High School and they went to graduation with
Yeah.
them.
I was
yeah.
homeschooled for 2 years.
Yeah, because I have a,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and you still had to submit stuff. You still had to talk to people. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you're just on your own and my mom is gonna teach me. Like, they
Okay,
gave
I
you.
gotcha.
I don't know if
stuff
that
to-
even is a possibility.
I don't think that's
No,
still
I
a
don't-
thing.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think that was
I'm
I
back
think
sure-
you
in
I'm
have
the
sure
to
day.
back
go
in-
do something.
Back in my day, it probably was like that.
Back in what, my day?
Yeah, I'm sure back when you
Back
were a
in
kid.
my day, we got whooped if you had said something wrong at school. You know,
That's not
No,
what I'm
he's
talking
saying
about,
he's saying
bro.
that back in the day, like in your time, that your mom could have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna homeschool him and I'm gonna teach."
Oh
him,"
yeah, I'm
and,
gonna
like,
get all the books and show him everything and
and they
do
would've
all the
been,
tests
thumbs
and
up,
all
good
that.
for you, and
Yeah, I don't-
whatever.
I
don't-
Now it's
no.
Now you
I'm,
have to
I'm sure.
follow.
I'm sure you still would have gone to take like a county exam and all that to get your degree, but they probably didn't regulate like the actual
It's
teaching
just
of it.
homeschooling is more of like the only time I heard about homeschooling is when I came to the United States. I've never heard of homeschooling.
Yeah,
Until I was
that's another thing,
18.
True, like in other countries, I feel like it's not.
Yeah, there's no such
Common.
thing as homeschooling.
I have my
I
own.
feel like in other
theory on this.
countries, a lot of the parents didn't go to school, so it's either you go to school to learn or you're just gonna learn how to like
work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not much I can teach you.
Yeah. All I'm
that's
saying,
another thing.
where I lived, I've never heard of homeschooling. So if there was a homeschooling, it's such a small percentage that nobody was talking about it.
Yeah,
So
maybe like super
I
super
think
rich
in
people or
United
something.
States,
Yeah.
you know, I think the society in the United States always kind of does things differently.
I switched your keyboard to whatever language you speak, and
That's all right.
it's going crazy.
hit either tab or caps. Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I did not type that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about the but we didn't have an option of homeschooling. What?
You better go to school.
I did
you're
not
getting whipped.
dream of waking up
For
saying,
real.
"Hey, I don't feel good. I don't want to go to school." Your ass is going to school with fever and all.
Do we need your mom's like approval of this? Did you actually do this to them?
So it is what it is, you know.
I definitely feel like Hispanics are more strict. Like unless if you're literally like fever, passing out, throwing up, something like that, you're going to school.
So the reason homeschooling is a thing is because Americans don't trust the school system. Basically. So the top 3 reasons it says here are for
But don't trust what? Like
And-
protection,
I'm gonna explain. I'm
education?
gonna give you the 3 reasons, and it basically comes down to they don't trust it, right? Concerned about the school environment, to provide religious or moral instruction, and dissatisfaction with the academic instruction available at other schools. That's the 3 main reasons for homeschooling. Basically, they're just like, you're not good enough. I want my child to have a better learning experience.
But I feel like sometimes they're like doing a kid a disadvantage by homeschooling them because you're isolating them into
These are just
one
the
house.
3 main reasons.
Especially
I do
like
believe
if they
that's a
don't have
reason.
siblings or they're like there's not multiple people in the house. You're always home. School like allows you to socialize, meet people. Even though you're learning, you're still out.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think school is essential.
What happened?
I think
Fill out
school
a
is
form.
essential.
The windscreen is coming off.
I think school is essential for any young person. If anything, it gives you structure.
School gives us
Well,
some
not anymore, but-
I don't think it gives us structure. I think the only thing school provided for me was hard skin.
Well,
That's
that's-
literally the only thing.
That's part of it, right?
That's part of it, but not structure entirely. I still don't know how to do my taxes. I still don't understand what any of that shit means,
Mm-hmm.
right? I came out of school not knowing how to write a resume,
Mm-hmm.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Accurate.
There's
That's
a
true.
bunch of stuff.
What? But see, no, I get that. I get that. I'm not arguing the fact that schools
I
are
think
teaching the right thing. All I'm saying is whatever they're teaching, however they have it modeled, not necessarily what it is, but the model itself, it's giving you structure. Like you're following a schedule.
Bad, man.
You're following a schedule.
Yeah, they're just setting you up to go do a 9 to 5.
That's all they're
Yes, they're setting you
that's-
up to go 9 to
that's
5,
really
but that's
bad.
majority of people that do 9
You're
to
right.
5.
You're right. We all can't be leaders. We all can't be business owners. That's absolutely right. There's a lot of people that are going to continue to live the same kind of lifestyle that people do in school, which is why we all have to understand why school is what it is, because it does prepare you for that 9 to 5, sitting at a desk, doing whatever your boss tells you. It's exactly what you go to do
Yeah.
in school. But the amount of geniuses school kills because of that model is insane. Insane.
Well, I agree with you, but then again, the whole thing goes back to generalization, right?
But I do believe. So I love the meme of when you see like 4 cars over
Mhm.
4 generations, right? Like it showed Bugatti for an example. Actually, no, it was Lamborghini because it was a tractor first, right? Like Lamborghini was a tractor company first. Tractor, the first Lambo, then the next one, right? And then you see the badass Lambos we have today. And then it's the schools, right? How you're still sitting at a desk. All 4 pictures of the schools are exactly the same, just a newer desk and a newer classroom. Our model hasn't changed when we know we can do it so much better.
The
And I
model
do think we can still provide structure to those people who aren't going to be the leaders, but also give an opportunity to those who are natural born leaders in a sense to do that.
Well, the model has somewhat evolved from back in the days from Greek times,
Yeah, of
from
course.
the Socrates and all of those guys were back in the day. They were doing the
But
assembly
in the last
and they were
100
teaching.
years, it's basically the same thing.
Yes. No,
Well,
I agree with you. I'm not talking about what we're teaching, right? And I think with like I see what you mean with that
We
meme.
have so many more opportunities for more people to be geniuses. Back in the day, it was very limited. No, a lot of people couldn't get information unless you were legit in a rich family. You weren't going to college. You probably weren't going to high school.
So wouldn't you say that school used to be a luxury and now it's not anymore?
Absolutely.
And now more people have access to it.
Education was absolutely a luxury back in the day.
So now you have more access to it.
Yeah, which is why I like technology, because it gives those geniuses opportunities.
So see, I see what he's saying. Alex saying, well, kids can find their passion. That is all good and dandy, but you still need electricians, you still need plumbers, you still need drywall people.
But how
And
about
a lot
if
of these
they
jobs
were founded, kids could.
funded?
If
they were funded,
funded, kids could.
yeah.
We need.
So all I'm trying to say, a picture painter is not going to fix your plumbing system or electrical system. You need diverse.
Yeah,
But
you're
there's
right.
some people who like actually enjoy that.
But
They do. I'm not
school's
saying that you
outdated.
shouldn't
but
enjoy
that's
painting.
what he's saying.
So,
Like they could learn
fun-
and
so-
like
However,
find
that-
their passion.
the
If
amount of
everyone was a painter,
teachers but the amount of teachers that pay for their own supplies, because what
I
they
agree.
give them per student is like
Yeah.
dollars. You
I
have
agree.
$3 per student to give them supplies
I
for
agree.
the
For
year.
a whole year.
I agree. Just like we had a shortage of nurses, and then United States government pretty much said, okay, we're going to start. We have a huge shortage of nurses. What we're going to do, they started pushing this. That's why a lot of people that you know now are going to nursing school, because nursing is a very well-paid profession now, right? I agree. They should do the same thing with teachers. Now, what I'm trying to say, if 40% of the society were painters, or 40% of the society were I don't know, in liberal arts, there were actors or some sort of a drama, you wouldn't have plumbers, you wouldn't have electricians. You would have them, but in a much smaller number. You wouldn't have cashiers. You wouldn't have all these people that literally, those are the workforce that drives our society.
I believe you're absolutely right, but I think
Nobody wakes up one day and says, my passion is, again, before somebody in the chat says, oh, don't generalize. Majority of people don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a cashier. This is my passion. But you need cashiers.
yeah.
So if you do need cashiers, the whole aspect of, well, if schools were more funded and kids can follow their passion, that would not contribute to the full society. The way we have the society running right now.
I mean, but another thing too, it's getting to the point where almost everywhere self-checkout. So do we really need cashiers?
You literally
Well,
barely
now
see
we do
cashiers
that. Now we
anymore.
do that, and that became a little more popular with the $15 per hour minimum wage, where McDonald's are converting now. A bunch of places are converting, right? Like that became more popular because it's more cost beneficial, cost
I bet
effective.
they can make my cheeseburgers better anyway. So
They're probably going to be more consistent. You know what I mean? As far as exactly going to get exactly what you ordered every time you order it. Now, the point is that, yes, right now they're converting because of that minimum wage gap. If they kept the minimum wage at what it was, which is unsustainable either way, right, up or down, it's unsustainable.
and now even that minimum wage is almost getting to the point where it's unsustainable, right? Because everything went up in price.
Yeah, so that's what do you think is going to happen? So let's say you increase the minimum wage, and the companies know that overall majority of people that, let's say, work for minimum wage, which is a lot of them, if they have more money, right, what can they do? Spend it. So if they can spend it, let's raise the price of the milk, right? What are you going to say if the price of the milk raises across the board?
They got to pay the farmers at those places more.
So yeah, so the whole idea of was like, okay, let's bump the minimum wage from $8 to $15 or $10 to $15 actually ended up backfiring.
Absolutely. But
now-
it's kind of crazy. I don't think it, like, I do think it helped a little bit in the sense of, do you think people would have continued to survive off of $8.25 during COVID? No. That
No.
shit would have been bad.
But then don't forget-
we still would have seen a lot of prices rising because of COVID, like we did. And with the $8.25, it would have been a lot worse. I remember, it's funny, I feel old to be able to say I worked for $8.25.
So yeah, no, that's true. During the COVID, yeah, but then what would they would have done? They would have just printed more money. They would have just sent out more stimmies. That's what it would have ended up being. So
Do you think the U.S. should have reacted more like places like Europe and stuff that shut down completely and, you know, gave more help to their citizens? I want to hear from y'all.
Say, I couldn't hear what you said.
Do you think the U.S. should have been more like Europe and other parts of the world, I should say, like Europe, that were more helpful with COVID in the sense where they said, okay, this is a real crisis that puts risk on lives. I don't care where you work, you stay in home, and we're gonna give you money to sustain yourself.
Good.
Yeah, I feel like they should have.
Cause
Like, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they should have helped more and like cared more too about like the health situation, because it was like, oh, we're locked down for like a week, and then it wasn't even that strict. Like, there were still people going out, going to the beach, going here, going there, and then the following week it's like, oh, COVID, who's COVID? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they
Alex,
didn't care
I
at
can
all.
tell. I can tell you haven't traveled much, huh? Go ahead. Sorry.
How long was COVID like really active in the other countries like Europe, all those places?
I mean, it was shutdowns. Australia, for example, they were shut down for the longest time, like for very, very long time.
But I'm like,
But how
I
many-
think she's saying like they probably
Their cases
Their
probably went
cases-
down. Like
Mhm.
I
yeah,
felt like our
compared to
cases
here.
kept like rising, or they would
Mhm.
just be all up and down. It wasn't like consistent, steady downfall.
So, I mean, they gave the steamies, right? If they had to, they would give more steamies. So they looked at the economy and said, yes, are some people going to lose their businesses? Yes. Are some people going to lose their jobs? Yes. But overwhelming majority is not going to. And then remember what happened? For the longest time, you would drive by a store and you would see a sign, help needed. However, no one was going to do it because they were getting a lot more money paid through government than what the job would pay them. So eventually that ended up pushing that minimum wage a little bit higher. People are getting more money. Since that people are getting more money,
yeah, it was like the same
prices
thing,
went up.
like the unemployment.
And it all got blamed on shortages, which, yes, shortages did happen, in a lot of the areas, like what's happening right now with the eggs, right?
Yeah.
However,
shortages
Well,
for a lot
every
of stuff.
The
action
problem
has a
with
reaction.
the shortage of chips and stuff like that, I witnessed that shit firsthand in the sense of it's COVID and it's ETH. If you guys know what Ethereum is, it's a crypto coin, which a cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, that was blowing up like crazy. And so basically, the way you get this stuff is
Why?
with-
Because everybody became a crypto trader and miner.
Exactly. Everybody was buying up graphics cards, and graphics cards are basically like the most powerful processor a consumer can get. In a real like standpoint of the sense of like the most powerful chip, it's way more powerful than your phone, way more powerful than the CPU on the actual computer itself, all that. And they use these things to get crypto. Now, how? That's a whole nother conversation for people with bigger brains than I have. But that's a big reason on why the chip shortage was a big thing, was crypto mining and the COVID. It was a mix of both.
Well, that's for the chip shortages, right? Like, they didn't have people that worked, obviously. So who's gonna mine? Who's gonna make? Everything is closed. Obviously, supply chain stops.
And anytime a little bit of stock got pushed out, bought out
Yeah.
instantly. Graphics cards and computer parts were being sold for double to triple the price. I at the time I was getting into computers, and I wanted to buy a $400 graphics card, and it would cost me $1,400.
Yeah, but coming back to your question, like, okay, should other countries, should United States, by that token, if United States should have helped their people and gave more money, right? Which would say that, okay, if the country's not doing well, which means the people in the country are not doing well, the economy would tank. United States would not be the number one economy in the world, right? If that happened. So obviously, whatever they did, it still kept United States as the number one economy.
Well, that's what I was gonna get into when you guys were done. The biggest reason on why we didn't stop was money, right? These guys didn't want to stop their money flow. They don't care that people were dying and everybody was getting sick. Everybody needs their money.
Well, yeah, no,
Or
I
wants.
understand, but
That was
remember the
reason,
part
yeah.
where it was like essential workers need to go to work no matter what, and
Yeah.
a lot of the friends that were essential workers, they went to work, right, and they were still working. However, I had friends that were not essential workers, and a couple was getting close to $8,000 or $9,000 through government assistance on monthly basis. So I'm not sure what we're saying that that government didn't really help. Not only was it a federal, but it also was a state mandated as well help. So if you're making $8,000 by not working, where an essential worker goes to work and makes only $3,000, so where's the fairness in that? So all I'm trying to say is government did help people that lost their job. In addition to that, remember they put the mandates
I
in
know
where
a
you
bunch
don't.
of people who got unemployment at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then the PPP loan scams and all that stuff. I mean, government did give a lot of money to help.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how United States didn't help.
I
You know,
didn't say they didn't.
But they could have
Help,
helped more.
But I think they didn't go to the same extent
Like
to
what?
protect the safety of the people like other countries and other parts of the
Well,
world.
I mean,
did.
arguably, a lot of people argue that Florida, one of the states that was the first one to open back up, where, you know, everybody was crying safety, safety, safety. But if Florida didn't open up, they were saying that the economy would tank. Now, I don't know if that would happen or not, but they're saying that the economy would tank. The reason Florida did so well during that time is because they opened up and said, you know what, we don't care. We're just going to open it back up.
Yeah.
So safety as far as what?
As in the sense of they said we're in Australia and England and a lot of these parts of the world, if you went out on the street during quarantine, they would arrest your ass
Yeah.
because they were strictly enforcing these quarantine periods of time. In the U.S., it was not like that. They said, well, okay, well, we have these people that should be working. I worked at Best Buy during COVID, and you know, all the gas stations were open during COVID and
Yeah.
all that, and the supermarkets and all that. In places like that, they were closing that shit down. Even
Yeah.
essential places, they were
Yeah,
closing it
everything was
down.
closed.
Everything was closed. The government was shipping shit to your house so you could stay alive and this and that.
So what I'm trying to say basically is
I don't
Australia is where it is right now, just like it was, and United States is where it is right now, just like it was. I mean, have a lot of things have changed, yes, but you know, it's very hard to
You good?
it's very hard to answer that question. Would it be better if they gave more? I mean, it would be nicer if you got more
Not
money.
necessarily gave
and
more.
didn't
yeah,
have to
because,
work for
so,
it.
Of course,
Who
yeah,
does-
we all wanted more money, but guess what happened when we got more money? Amazon
You
made the
spent
most
it.
money
Exactly.
they ever made in a week.
Yeah,
Literally.
it was a trickle down
Yeah.
effect. It was a trickle down effect from poor to rich.
Yes.
It was
100%.
trickle up effect.
And that's one of the reasons the rich love to say, well, you give the poor more money, they just spend it. And that's majority of the time it's true. That's right. But that's how they tricked the government to go, oh yeah, we'll charge you less taxes so you can
listen.
make more jobs, and that turned out to be
So-
bullshit.
So we were at this suit shop because we were shopping for remember, for the wedding. All of us
Yeah.
were shopping for the suits, right? And I was talking to the guy, the owner of the shop, right? And he said every time a steamy check came through, people would come in and buy $400 to $500 Moschino T-shirts.
Yeah.
That's what they spend their steamy checks on.
T-shirt, not the whole suit.
T-shirts, not the whole suit, just the T-shirt.
Yeah, the place we went, it was like a boutique.
Yeah. So they would buy T-shirts. This T-shirt costs more than the entire suit that we bought,
Absolutely.
right? So the point is that these steamy checks, did they help some people? Yes. But a lot of people use these steamy checks, including the PPP loans, to get Lamborghinis, to get $400 shirts, to get Gucci belts, to do this and do that.
Yeah.
Explain to us who don't know the PPP loans. What is that?
So PPP loans were for businesses. They're through government. There were loans that were given through government to the business in case they couldn't keep paying to their employees. They would use the PPP loan to pay their employees to keep the businesses afloat. That's what the PPP
Okay.
loan was.
And a lot of people
But a
abuse
lot
that.
of times what people did, they claimed that they needed a PPP loan, but in reality, they took that money and they spent it on themselves buying XYZ
Yeah, I
luxury
heard about
cars,
that,
so on
yeah.
and so forth. A lot of businesses did benefit from that. A lot of businesses did benefit. They kept afloat, and if not PPP loans, they would not be here today. But a lot of people,
I mean, there's always going to be abuse in the system,
yeah,
corruption, all that.
yeah. And just like he's saying, well, those checks were meant to be spent on surge the economy. Yeah, you were absolutely correct. So how is this any different from raising the minimum wage, doing this or doing that? It's exact same thing, except instead of one check, you're getting it hourly. Again, you're going to come to you and then you're going to give it away to someone. So that's the bottom line. People are getting charged for fake PPP loans. Yes, they are getting charged for fake PPP loans. You're absolutely correct. They are. However, there are a lot that I'm sure are not getting charged for it, and they're going to skate through it. the point is that I think United States did what they could do, and they thought is right, and not necessarily that they're not taking care of their people.
Shit, they did more than other countries.
Well, that's what I'm
If you want to
saying.
compare across the world, but I just don't. I see other places like Australia and stuff, and I say, well, seems like they cared a little more about the safety of their people.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then people were stuck in that country, or people were stuck abroad that couldn't go back to Australia because they were afraid they're going to be locked up.
Yeah, for the safety of others, for
For
the
the
life
sa-
of others, bro. You're risking the life of other people. How many people died?
But
I
what-
mean, a lot of people want to combat that, but it was a global pandemic. There is no arguing that.
No, I agree with that. I'm not
I
challenging
know.
that
I'm saying,
point.
though. Like a lot
All
of
I'm-
people, when you say,
all I'm saying
a lot
is-
of people died from COVID, a lot of people try to say,
all
no,
I'm saying-
they didn't.
Australia, by doing all this, really didn't do much. They really didn't do much. So all that extra that they did was for no reason. So
Yeah,
was it
but
really worth it?
Like I said, how long was COVID like active in Australia?
Oh, it still is right now. People
Yeah,
are
I
like,
know,
you
No,
know,
and
but-
worldwide it is still,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
still
gonna keep
active.
moving. But what
Yeah.
she's saying is like
Compared
during that
to
time that they were
US.
locked down, were the cases going down, or were they still like the U.S. like up and down like a roller coaster?
Yeah.
well, so this is where the catch-22 comes in, right? Like a lot of people are saying those cases that were detected, the numbers are not correct. A lot of people are saying they're correct. So there's that doubt as whether it's correct or incorrect, whether the reporting is correct or incorrect. So I'm not sure exactly how to answer that one because the
Yeah.
numbers are it's very shaky
Yeah.
to say.
So, if we've got a total death count of close to 6.8 million on COVID, is where I'm looking right now. This is the world meters
Say it
world
again, say it again.
meters. I'm trying to get the name of the worldometers.info. It's got
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah, a bunch of
info.
numbers and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Anyways, the U.S. contributed 1.1 million
Mhm.
deaths to that. Australia
Mm-hmm.
contributed 18,000. I'd say that's a big fat fucking
Yeah, that's a
difference,
big
bro.
ass-
So again,
difference.
as I said, there's a controversy behind that 1.1 million. Are these deaths all COVID related or
Yes.
not?
Yeah.
You're right.
So we don't know
That's
if these
true.
numbers
You're
are
right.
correct.
But even if you split it in half
Mhm.
and say
Yeah.
half these
What's
people
the
did it,
population of Australia?
18. Oh, no.
way less. You're right. Way less. Of course. But comparative from 1.1 million to 18,000, I don't think if you were to say, let's take, okay, out of every 10,000, let's look up how much.
Well, 1.8 million is said, so it's a little below 1%, like 0.5%. Yeah, it's 0.5%.
Okay,
I'm
now
so
let
confused
me
what you
look
guys
up
are calculating.
the population of Australia.
So the point, all I'm trying to say, again, we don't know how accurate these numbers are.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. And I do believe, one of the topics I had up for one of the weeks was how there was no flu cases during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. We got the flu. It was 2 years. You didn't think people
Well, they-
nobody got the flu?
They're attributing that to people staying at home. So when the people are staying at home, the flu
Yeah,
wasn't
but there
spreading
was-
as much.
Relatively zero
Yeah.
flu cases. Everything to them was COVID.
Mhm.
COVID. And also, that's why it wasn't Jordan Peterson. It was last name Weinstein.
Weinstein?
No, not no, not that motherfucker. Let me look him. Let me first. Okay, so 26 million people in Australia.
Yeah. So
What's
the percentage is
18,000
a lot
of that?
less. Percentage is a lot less. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what was I just gonna look up now? The guy on with the Weinstein as his last name, right?
What about him? Just say what.
Anyways, he was saying how the cycle threshold on the PCR test
Oh, you're talking
was,
about the PCR test.
was
cycle
too high,
threshold.
and that was basically gonna cause PCR testing to be. He was saying, oh, some scientists say up to 90%. Who knows the numbers? Blah blah blah. But it really, a lot of scientists are just saying that a lot of false positives are gonna come through on those PCR COVID tests when that person might just have the flu or the cold or something else.
Yes,
Yeah, I heard that too.
here's the thing. This is how I look at it. Hindsight 2020. You know what I mean? You always can see what happened could be correct and could be incorrect, right? But the bottom line is, when it was happening, no one really knew what's the correct thing to do, because this was the first time in the world that something like this happened, with the entire world shut down.
Yeah.
So at that point, whether it's the right thing or
Brett Weinstein,
Brett Weinstein, okay. So at that point,
evolutionary biologist.
at that point, you know, can you go ahead and say, well, we weren't safe enough, right? Did Australia? Is it possible that
Did they prevent
Australia
more? Let's say that.
they prevented more, or they were just super like, oh, I don't know what's going on, let's just shut everything down because we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Whether
Whether it was one reason or not, they saved more lives.
Mm-hmm.
whether it was one reason or not, they saved more lives according to these numbers. But if the Weinstein is saying that these numbers are incorrect, now again, this opens a bunch of questions.
It does.
Did they really save more lives?
It does, but let's just do a little bit of guessing here, in the sense of, even if the stuff was absolutely skewed out of its mind, it still doesn't meet the low percentage of Australia. Still doesn't.
Why not? So if it went down to 180,000 deaths,
Well, yeah,
or
but that would-
120,000
But
deaths.
that would literally be a tenth of what they have down
Yeah,
on, as a thing.
But we don't know how bad these tests could have been.
yeah,
how
but
much
then
of
the same thing, the numbers could also be skewed in Australia. The same thing. I mean, you're right. We just don't know.
We don't know.
Absolutely. But from what the numbers tell us, they did a better job. Simple as that.
Yeah, again, I don't know if they did a bit. I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm on a
I
fence
love you,
on that.
Jay. I fucking
I'm
love
on a
you,
fence
Jay.
on that. I'm
I
undecided.
love you for always just saying no.
It's not a no.
real.
I'm not saying it's a
Another
no.
thing-
I'm not saying it's a yes. I'm just saying I'm undecided because I'm on a fence on
I
this.
get it. I get you.
Another thing that I feel like people, once COVID was like introduced or whatever you want to say,
Oh, this gives me total
people
test.
forget that they like anything else has ever existed.
Yeah.
They forget flu is a thing. They forget like strep throat. They forget like any of the other normal like colds or viruses that we have every single year existed. Or like you have allergies, you sneeze, oh, you have COVID, go get tested. And that's why I feel like the percent of how many positives we had were so high, because people would just like, you're allergic to this certain plant, you were next to the plant, you sneezed, oh, now I have COVID, and the test came out positive because of whatever reason, the faulty test, whatever. So that I feel like there were so many more cases of it, because for any little thing, people would right away be like, oh, I have COVID.
Yeah.
Death-
Like anything else, nothing else existed.
Deaths per million. The U.S. had 3,384. Australia had 714
Yeah, 3,384, 714
per million.
Yeah, so that's if you
It's like a
take those numbers, 714,
to 3,384.
84. So that's 20. So
I was
that's
gonna say
a
a quarter.
21%.
I was gonna say a quarter.
Yeah, so as you said, if it was max skewed to the max, right, in United States, if you half it, if you half the deaths, we're right there. Is Australia. If you half that, so if it's skewed to the max, if you take 75% of that and say 75%,
it would have to be a quarter, because 21%
that's
is
what I'm saying.
Or
If
sorry,
you say
a fifth.
75%,
A fifth.
if data came out, and said 75% of these tests were incorrect, 75% of the wrongful death reasons, including this, it's all amounts to 75%.
But we can look at this. It also gives me a test per million population, so that'll tell me. So Australia per million. Test per million pop. All right, that doesn't make sense. Let me see.
All right. So what I'm trying to say, if they're skewed to the max, and the difference seems to be 75%.
Yeah, but that's like
right.
that's hard to know, right?
That's
Like,
what I'm trying to say. This is why I'm on a fence. I can't say yes and I can't say
I get
no.
it. But I'm just looking at the numbers of what we have,
Yeah.
right? We can only look at what we have. If we always just go, well, what we have, you never know. If what we have, you never know. Then we'll never know shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then this is why I can't say they took better measures versus not better measures. You know, all I can say is like, I think United States is doing pretty well post. I don't know how Australia is doing. I know United States is still #1 economy in the world.
Yeah. China,
People are
Japan
still
right
making
behind,
money. Have there been deficits? Yeah, that was expected. it is what it is.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you know. And China right now is doing what United States did back then. China just started doing that.
What do you mean?
So right now there was a huge outbreak not long ago in China, and now they're starting to do that. They're starting to give people the money and things like that that the United States was doing. So it's a catch-22 on this, and it's not trying to argue about it. I'm just saying we don't know. Jay fighting on it, if any.
Hanging strong. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
I think so. He hanging strong. Fingertips. He got them. He got a.
Gorilla grip.
No, I mean I've yet. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean it is what it is. I'm just presenting my argument.
Yeah, I get it.
So it has nothing to do with finger trips or not. It is what it is. All right, cool. So we're not able to play those videos, are we? Miggy, give him an L.
Yeah, I think Miggy gets us. I give you a C+ for today, Miggy, because your camera.
Somebody said he was doing great.
All right.
Yeah, they
Hold
were
on, somebody
hyping. They were
said-
hyping up Miguel in the
They
They were
chat.
hyping
Yeah,
him
he
up.
said
They
he
were
was
saying
the
is the
GOAT.
best.
But
yeah,
you guys would call him God if you saw what he should have had.
yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
goat.
they said Miguel is the king. Miguel equals goat, and Arthur replied, "Yup."
So all right, I got one more topic.
to me.
Arranged marriages. Are they better than marriages for love, or marriages for love are better than arranged marriages? What do y'all think?
I don't think anybody should have to be forced to deal with anybody they don't want to.
Yeah, I don't
agree.
think
Unless it-
arranged marriages should exist.
No, like
Yeah.
why are you trying? Why? Let
I
the
mean,
person.
I saw our boy Andrew talk about how he was like, well, your father may know better for you. What do you know what a good man is when you've never been with a man? If you're in those kind of situations,
You
Well,
learn.
it's because you're in that kind of situation. You were in a conserved family, you know.
Conservative.
Conservative family. You know, your dad doesn't let you show your skin when you walk freaking outside. You're not allowed to talk to a boy. Of course, you don't know what a good man is. And then, to be frank, the guy, your father, that's sitting there controlling you, is not a good role model for what a man should be.
Yeah, I don't think they should exist. I don't think it's right for women to have to like.
No, it's not just women; it's men too.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of men are put in arranged marriages. That's
Okay,
what
well, I
people
don't
Not
think
a
it's
lot of men.
correct
The
for
arranged marriages.
either.
That's exactly what it is. Man and a woman are forced into a marriage.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I don't. Okay, well, I don't think either should have to deal with like, oh, my family thinks this guy or this girl would be perfect for me, blah blah. Like, I couldn't like.
Mm.
th-
Do you
imagine
think? Do you
like
think?
being not forced, because like how Lena said, there's a difference. But imagine being like pushed, I guess you can say, or like influenced to be like, oh, this is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do, and then you dislike the person completely, like everything about them, and then you're miserable your whole life. Like in some cases, it works out perfectly, and everybody was right. This is the perfect partner
So
for
how
you.
is it-
Yeah, but it's not often that it always works out that way.
Yeah. But how is it any different than what it is right now when we have a 50% divorce rate?
But at least this person chose what they believe. Like,
Mhm.
like right now, do you really think your mom could go out and pick for you the perfect woman, and you would be happy for the rest of your life, and she would be happy with you?
Look, right now that I think that I'm older, I can do it on my own. But before, when I was younger and dumber, she probably would have picked for me better. Yeah.
Okay, but
I
yeah,
agree.
like you said, now that you know, you'll.
I
do
mean,
it
but
on
a
your
lot
own.
of arranged
Now that
marriages
I
do
know,
happen
but
when they're,
again-
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
16,
yeah.
So
Not that
But
I
still,
know.
even that's crazy. 16 years old and you want me to marry somebody? Like, what do you mean?
No, what I'm saying is, here, you want to get back? So remember how we were talking about, like, when you get back to your 8th grade self and what would you do if you had all that knowledge? So it's kind of the same thing, right? Because if you think about it, your parents would probably be a better judge of character,
mhm.
Yeah.
right? And I'm not arguing for or against. I'm just giving cons and
But
pros
my
and
thing
cons.
is, why do they even want their child married at the age of 16, 15, 14, whatever it is that the arranged marriages happen?
No, I guess there's a cultural
I was
tradition.
just about to
Yeah,
say,
it's a lot
I
of
think it's a
culture
part about.
stuff.
I think that right there. Your
That's-
question you're asking that's just a part of their culture.
Yeah,
That's when it's
that's
done.
what they're doing. It has nothing
True.
to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, now remember we were talking about when you go back to your 8-year-old self, like you would have more experience and more knowledge, so you'd be a better judge of what you should be doing and better judge of characters.
But we all should have the right to choose for ourselves. Just like we were talking about with the drugs earlier, at the end of the day, who are you to tell me I can't go smoke meth?
Well, this is not me telling you, right? This is your family.
But anybody. Who is anybody to tell a full-grown adult to do anything?
That is correct.
At the end of the day, yes, it's your father, and we all have respect for our parents and all that. But if they're forcing you to do something that you know is absolutely wrong.
But so at that point, maybe 10 years down the road, which your father or parents can see, where you would come back and say, yeah, you know what, they were right.
Yeah, maybe, but if you're going back and seeing, you probably made some bad decisions.
What do you mean you made some bad decisions?
So I believe nobody should be blaming anybody for shit you did. So if you're going to go in 10 years and say, well, my father should have made me force marriage. Fuck you. You should make your own decisions and stand by them. Not my father should have did anything.
No, that's not the question. The question is, do your parents, are they better judge of character than you are?
But they don't have the right to choose for me.
It's not them choosing for you. They're a better judge of character. So
they are choosing for you.
Yeah, that's what an arranged
that's what
marriage
That's what an arranged
They're
marriage
choosing
is.
who you're going to marry, and that's it.
But because they're a better judge of character, right? So it's like me saying, hey, listen, get in your car and drive 200 miles per hour at all times. Versus me saying, hey, when you get in your car, hold the steering wheel, follow the speed limit, don't drink and drive. So
You're
are you going to get pissed off at me
Yeah.
because
But
I
that's
said
something
No,
That's
you're
so
saying-
different. That's so
But that's
different.
so different, bro.
How?
You're saying you should do this.
you should do this? Correct.
Okay. And by the way, Lynette explained to me the difference between forced and arranged marriage is an arranged marriage, actually the people are willing to let their parents do this.
Yeah, no, I
Right?
get it.
They agree with what you're saying. I think my parents are a better judge of character than I am, and I'm
Yeah,
okay with
no,
how
it's
my
all
culture runs, and I'm okay with it. Forced marriage, which is what I don't think is right.
No, I want you to look up, is forced marriage fall under arranged marriage? Because it seems that there's
would
been arranged and you were forced
Yes.
into it versus there's
Yes,
been
it would
arranged
fall under
and
it.
you were willingly
It
going
would
for it.
fall
So you
under
would
it, but it's not
so then again it's
directly.
arranged marriage across the board.
Yeah.
So forced marriage would be a category of an arranged marriage then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then it's all arranged marriage. So what are we arguing about here? So the point
brought
here,
it up.
yeah.
You brought it up, motherfucker.
No. I'm talking about, there's a forced marriage, there's arranged marriage. No, they're all arranged marriages.
They are all
whether they're
arranged
forced or not forced.
But I don't think forced marriage is okay.
Okay, fine. Forced marriage is not okay. I get behind
Arranged
it.
marriage,
Now,
yes,
again,
because you chose to let your parents make that decision for you. Yeah.
No, okay. So the pros of this are they're saying that a lot of the arranged marriages do not usually end up in divorces. Cons of that are in a lot of the arranged marriages, people don't feel like they have the right to say when they're not happy. This is why they're attributing this to not being a good fit, right? So these are the pros and cons. In more cultures with arranged marriages, divorce is low because of it is vilified or not allowed. Yeah, this is just what I said. Daily dollar short. So the point is here, these are the pros and these are the cons, right? Now, forget all those. What I'm trying to say, going back to the parents being a better judge of character. Now, who am I to question their judgment?
I feel like of course parents do know what's best for you in certain aspects of a lot of things, but they also think that this person is right for you. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are right for you.
They might be good for you, like
Correct.
status wise, like good family, whatever the case may be. But just because of those things, that's another thing. Like, you're usually in an arranged marriage, it's usually somebody, I assume, like around your age or something that like makes sense, correct?
Yeah.
So just because they're coming from a good family or they have money or whatever, doesn't mean that that person himself is gonna be a good person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just so that's another thing.
Just
so
like
they might be judging the character or the whatever based off of the whole family or like where they live and blah blah. But that doesn't mean that they're actually judging that specific person.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get what you're saying, but then again, going back to the same thing, when you have a 50% divorce rate, in the Western world. I mean, I think UK is a little bit less than United States, but United States on average is about 50%, which means that when we left to our own devices, we still picked the wrong person because you have a 50% chance of this actually working out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that should be
So-
up to you to
So
go
to
through
make the
that.
mistake.
You learn, and you that's how you learn, is make mistakes.
Yeah, but then the same thing as driving a car, right?
Yeah, but
You know,
you
if I
keep
tell you if you
comparing.
speed, you're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah, but you
That's
keep comparing two
different.
different things.
How is that different? Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive or let your parents arrange your marriage.
Or allow you to
compares?
date people so you can
It's
see
not
who's
th-
right for you, who's wrong. Like,
It's not one thing compares to the other one. What I'm trying to say, when somebody says don't drink and drive, they want the best for you.
I mean,
Yeah.
another thing too is that we're thinking about this situation in a like we live in a world that's completely different from what we're comparing. These people who do these arranged marriages, that's all they've ever seen. That's all. That's the normal. That's all that's around them. They're not allowed to date. Like they're just allowed to be of age and be in an arranged marriage, and that's just
yeah.
they're normal. That's another thing too. That weird, as an outsider saying this, that's like
That's cute, Alex, when you have nothing else to say. Good one.
anyways, I think it's just we're like outsiders. That's like other people saying stuff about our culture, like certain things that we do.
Sorry.
That's like other people saying stuff about like things that Hispanics do. Like I don't even know what example to give right now, but
yeah.
that's another thing. Like we're comparing this tradition that it's not normal for us, but for them that's what it is. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
How we talked about the other day, in places like China, how they eat cat and dog, and it's just like that's just normal for them. I mean,
Well, not everybody in China eats cats and dogs.
well.
Do
Okay,
they have
but
the market for it? Yes.
They have the market for it. They have a freaking festival for it once a year. They throw this.
But I don't think
big
it's a
ass
majority thing.
No, it's not a majority thing, but it's a normal thing in their culture.
They're not looking at it sideways. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not looking at it
And
sideways.
somewhere.
Do they have hot dog eating competitions?
Hot dog.
Wasn't the number one winner of hot dogging competitions an Asian guy, I think?
Yeah, that was small
And then
Asian
and
dude,
then
yeah.
the
I'm
and then
looking
the
for
white dude won a couple of years in a row. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know.
Is
To
that
me,
like a worldwide
here's my opinion
competition?
about it. Since everybody thinks that I'm pro arranged marriages, I'm completely against arranged marriages. But the
No,
point
I didn't
is,
think you were pro. I think you were just trying to argue with us, but I didn't think you were.
No, I was
pro.
just
Yeah,
presenting-
exactly. Presenting the devil's
I'm
advocate.
just presenting, yeah, the devil's advocate. I'm saying this or that, right? Like in my situation right now, I think I can pick a girl that's best for me at this point in my life. However, when I was, let's say, if I were to get married at 18, 20, 21, 22, I didn't know my ass from my head back then.
No, I don't think anybody should be getting married at that age.
Well, I mean, that's true,
You know, they well,
and not at
In
the
my
same
opinion,
time.
that's
I think
hella
it-
young to get
I
married.
think it just depends on your situation.
Yeah, but like you're
I
your
think
brain
20
isn't even fully developed.
You're 20, 21, and
You-
you're already getting married. Like you have.
You are
I mean, but there's
only
people that already have kids, so
bro.
why not
You're
get
only
married?
3 years into life of making your own decision. Maybe at 15, 14 is when you started doing stuff on your own, going out, in a sense, making your own decisions on what you want to do with your life, whether that be go waste your time on the streets with your friends or study, right? You started making decisions for yourself 3 years ago. We all here know 3 years ain't shit.
No, that's true. So with the same token, again, going back to the same thing, do you really know better or your parents do?
No, you're right. I do believe that it's more probable that your parents know better,
Yeah.
but they don't have the right.
So again,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
so the point here, what I'm trying to say, arranged marriages, I think they're totally bad. Now, getting married at a young age, I don't think it's such a bad thing. Now, I think as a guy, you shouldn't get married at a young age. I think you should think about marriage after you're 33, 35, where you've either started a business or either reached some sort of a success in your career or done something like that. This is the time for you to worry about it. Now, for girls, I think it's a little bit unfair, but I think it's the sooner you get married, I think maybe better for you, just in a sense of biology, childbearing, things like that, where that has a shelf life on it. So I don't think this is one of those things that is unfair in the world, but it is what it is, right? So
See, I don't look at it the same way. I mean, you're right about the whole girl thing. You know, the biology. You know, they're only fertile for so long. This and that.
By
It becomes
70 to 80% of the eggs are gone. So
yeah, and not only that, it becomes less and less safe for them to bear a child.
yeah, 35 is a geriatric pregnancy across the board.
So
all medical books.
But I do believe that a 23-year-old man who is in love with a woman and is maybe not at the point where he owns his own business and this and that, but maybe they've got a house and he's starting that and that. Why not get married? He knows that's the person he wants to be with already. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And I understand what you mean, like priority kind of thing. That's when it would become a priority.
Because I get it. Because the same thing about do you want to? So there was a thing I think, I forget the show. So this rapper from New York was gonna with this girl. They're gonna get married, and she wanted him to have a $200,000 wedding, and he was saying hell no. So she was blaming him by saying that you're broke, this and that, right? So I think when marriages happen, in a lot of cases, girls think about, well, this day I get to wear the white, the picture, the family, the this, the that, the third. What a guy's thinking about, all right, the marriage is done. Where are we going to live? Where are we going to drive? How are we going to eat? And these are the things that we worried about, right? So the reason I'm saying you should get married at 35 because you're somewhat established and you kind of have a way to go, right? And at that point, kind of life shows where you are.
We all agree that we want to have a steady life when we start, especially bearing children or trying to support somebody else, right? We want to be stable ourselves. Quick little thing. We're starting to get towards the end here. We're starting to get 2 hours. I have a question for the girls. I saw the other day a girl talking on a podcast that she doesn't wear makeup at all. She was saying a lot of the makeup is bad for your skin. I think it plays on the insecurities of women on extreme amounts. Yes, there are. She said, yes, there are the cases where women use it because they want to, but on the majority, it is a bad thing for the mental health of women. What do you guys think? Especially since y'all both love makeup. I want to hear.
Well, number one, yes, it can be bad for your skin, especially like certain brands and products and whatever. And number two, yes, I do agree with the whole insecurity thing because there are some people who feel like they can't go anywhere without makeup, and without makeup they're hideous and whatever. But then there are also people who do it here and there just because they like it, just because they think it's fun, just because they want to add a little more to themselves. But it's not like, oh, I can't go anywhere without it. It's simply just, why not add something? You know what I mean?
I feel like it's also causing insecurities because people are trying to get their makeup to look like an Instagram filter or a Snapchat filter, and then when they don't look like that,
they see online that it's more than likely
edited. And it's edited, and when they don't look like that, they get disappointed and they get insecure about themselves or whatever. But I agree with Emily. A lot of people can't walk out their house without putting makeup on because they feel like they don't look good or whatever. But a lot of people just do it because they like it, and it's an art to them.
I'm a big believer in that you can do anything you want because you like it. As long as you're not harming nobody, whether it's putting on your $200 pairs of shoes or caking your face up in makeup or driving a Ferrari. A lot of people are like, well, you're showing off. You just want to show off. Motherfucker, I like cars, bro. I like it. I just like it. I like shoes. I just like it. You guys just like makeup. I believe that can be a thing. But, you know, all those things I just said, they play on the insecurities of a lot of people. And I feel that makeup is one of those things that stands out the most because it literally just makes you look like somebody else in a sense, right? If you're driving a Ferrari, you still look like you. You're wearing Jordans, you still look like you.
You're driving a Ferrari, you look like a rich you.
You do look
different. You got like a bougie.
You
got a different glow.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
When you're driving a Ferrari, you can be busted like Marc Anthony and get a miss whatever, right? But here's a question that I have. Who you think enforces the makeup more?
What do you mean by that?
Who's enforcing makeup? The whole idea of this makeup, whole idea of changing your face.
I think makeup is enforced due to money.
That's fine.
Big makeup plays on the insecurities of these women, which the majority of women that cake their freaking face every day are doing it because they're insecure. And those are the women that buy a lot of makeup. They do it every day. and that's where these guys are.
So the big makeup is just giving the consumer what the consumer wants or buys or pays money for. But this enforcement starts somewhere, right? Who enforces this? Who enforces this?
But like, what do you mean by enforces?
Yeah, I'm confused on where you're
Men or
asking.
women?
Oh,
Well, women. Men generally don't care. Yeah, we want we want a pretty girl, but if the girl can be pretty without makeup, we really don't care if she puts on makeup.
No, you don't though.
No.
All right, let me ask a question. Say you're on a dating app, right? And you see this guy. This guy's 6 foot. You know, you like what you see in the pictures. You talk to him. You say, okay, well, we're gonna meet up. You meet this guy and he is 5'8". How would you feel?
I mean, I'd
Or
first
5'7".
I'd first ask,
How would you feel?
why did you like lie? But
Mhm.
at the
Okay, you know
same
what
time, I
you know what
wouldn't
I have
really
to say?
care.
You know how you guys always say makeup catfish? Oh, it changes you, blah blah. Beards are freaking catfish. You can be the makeup.
Oh, and the fitted caps.
Listen,
The fitted caps.
No. Makeup.
Yo.
Makeup.
Why
will-
you throwing shots, bro?
No, because I don't know. As soon as people be putting
So,
them on,
okay.
you be
No,
like,
makeup. You guys were saying like, oh, what if you marry a girl and you've never seen her without makeup? First of all, why are you marrying the girl if you've never seen her without makeup? Like
That happened to someone.
I know it's
I know.
possible, but like,
You
jeez. But
busted.
okay, what if you're dating a guy for 7, 8, 9 years, however long? You guys get married, everything, and then after those 9 years, he decides, you know what? I want to switch things up. I'm going to shave off my beard. And he has a butt chin, or he has a something, or he looks completely different, Arthur. And you had no idea because he had the beard for the 9 years. What then? I'd
Very
say
good question.
facial hair is
Very good
more of a
question.
catfish
That is a
than
good
makeup.
question. Never thought
Very
of
good
that.
question.
That
I
is
never
makeup
thought
for
of that.
men.
I never thought
That
of
is
I have.
makeup for men.
That's a very good question. I have. Would guys have beards if girls didn't date guys with beards?
That's true. Well,
I mean, but that's something just like the makeup that it could be you just like it. I'm
Yeah.
sure you like how you look with the
No.
beard.
No, the girl.
You're not wearing it
the
because
girl-
oh,
There is a
girls like
solution
don't
to
like
the
how you
beard
look with the
catfish,
beard.
though.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
There's a Snapchat filter that takes off your beard. You try
But
that.
that
It
no,
works.
but that doesn't know if he has a butt chin or not. It doesn't know
It
It
like
does.
smooth.
It will.
Wait
will.
a minute.
No,
Wait a
no.
minute.
No,
Wait a
no,
minute.
no,
No, it
It'll
doesn't.
no.
It makes a
Regular-
It'll
smooth-
take away the
You
hair,
look-
but
you
it
get-
won't give you,
you
the
get a
butt chin.
Superman chin.
Wait
is
a
what they
minute.
give you.
Wait a minute. So what am I getting to?
Literally.
What I'm getting back to is that guy that was supposed to be 6 foot and now he's only 5'7" is the same thing when you see a girl on the pictures and
With
then she
filters
shows up
and then in
and then
person,
she takes
yeah.
off the makeup and
Yeah.
she's not the person that you've seen.
Well,
No,
no,
I-
not necessarily takes off the makeup, but if the filter
Takes off
and
the
the
filter.
edits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then even when
different.
she
No,
comes in
I'm
person-
talking about the makeup too because I mean you're a makeup artist. There are tutorials of women how they can literally completely change their complete look. Complete look with just using makeup.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm trying to equate to is when a guy says I'm 6 foot and in reality he's only 5'7", you are completely disappointed. This is how guys would feel if they saw a girl with makeup that looked like a 8 or a 9 in their eyes and now she takes off and she's a 4.
Another thing too, I have to say, that guys need to realize there is a difference between natural makeup. I want to just enhance my natural stuff versus beat. For
What-
example,
you use the
if
word
you-
enhance. You use the word
like
enhance.
if you were to go on a date with me, how I am right now, my makeup. I don't think you would necessarily be disappointed when I go home. My cheeks might be a little red because I have rosacea. Like my eyelashes might not look as long. But clearly, the way that Bailey is right now, because I did this to show my work and show my art on her face, clearly she looks different. Like she's not gonna have
I agree.
purple wings
We're not
when you
talking-
guys go home. But that's why I'm saying guys
I'm not
need to
talking about
realize there
Bailey.
are girls that will go on a first date with their makeup like that.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
Some
about
crazy
Bailey.
thing. Those are the girls that you have to be like, damn, I wonder what she looks like under that.
Without
No, I'm
But
not talking
me,
about
I
Bailey.
feel like
Emily
I
looks
still
the
look pretty
same.
normal, just
So this is
a little more
again,
tan.
Again, let's go back to that when you're saying you're going on a date with a guy, right? That you've enhanced your features and he doesn't see the rosacea, right?
Uh-huh.
This is the guy of your dreams. Just close your eyes and picture the guy of your dreams, Eddie. So,
Why do I
but
have to
minus
close my eyes?
minus 40 pounds.
you're like, I can see
Why do I have to
having,
close my
you know,
eyes then?
however many
Sitting right next
children
to
you
her.
want, getting married to this guy, have a beautiful, perfect life with this guy,
Mhm.
right?
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Men and women have been wearing makeup since
They have.
4000 BC.
Yes, they have. It's
Yeah, they
to-
used to
Wow.
use like
It's-
strawberries.
it's the
and shit
peacocking
to, like, make
effect.
their cheeks blush.
yeah, it's the peacocking effect.
Yeah, they used to
Yeah,
use
I
like
remember that.
raspberries and fruit and like put it on their
Yeah.
cheeks and their lips
So
with
now-
like a lip stain.
I feel like I've
Now
heard
let
about
me
the
get back to
raspberry
my
thing.
experiment here. Now this is the guy of your dream. You'll never meet another guy like that. This is
Mhm.
him. And then you go, you take off your makeup, and he sees the rosacea in your cheek. He's like, oh hell no, I'm not dealing with this girl. And he walks out. Just like you said, the guy that has a butt chin, that has this, that has that. Now how would you in that situation? What would you think then? Wouldn't that be better to show up on a date
So
without anything where the persons can see what you actually look like and then decide whether this
What
is
I-
somebody you want to date?
Another thing too, I think it depends on where the date is, because another thing now, I feel like women use makeup as like an accessory. Like if you're going to a fancy restaurant, you're gonna wear your nice purse, your nice heels. The makeup is one of those accessories that feel necessary to look like
But
like
you
appropriate
but
for this.
what I
that
wanted to get
occasion.
at was
But
you're
yeah.
saying the whole beard thing. That's natural though. He grows a beard because that's just his skin growing a beard. You're putting something on your face to alter the way you look naturally. And I'm sorry, like I like I said, I understand like you just want to do it, but at the same time, it's like, well, why do you want to change your face? Why?
I mean,
Why?
because
you like it?
we cannot not agree on this. This is this is a way of competition. This is a way of you standing out from the crowd and saying, "Look at me, I am pretty." Right? So the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. Now, would you consider that a cheating? Let's say a guy wears height enhancing shoes. So he put on shoes that give him another 3 inches of height.
girls do it.
Girls do it, yeah, right. But then that's kind of like a catch-22, right? Whether should the guy wear those shoes or not. So what I'm trying to say is there's a bunch of double standards.
Yes.
And makeup is one of the things.
Yes.
Yeah, the double standards, and one of those things is the makeup. And makeup is there to enhance your looks, to catfish, right? Whether you're doing it at a 100% extent or just at 1% extent, but it is there to catfish someone. So at the end of the day, if the makeup is bad for you, it clogs your pores, does this to your skin, does that to your skin, wouldn't that be
as
much
long as
easier
you
not
remove
to
it
have it?
correctly, I think it doesn't.
Yeah, as long as you take care of your skin.
Yeah, and
in
that whole
general.
thing, well, I do it just for myself, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. You don't just do it for yourself. You do it because it's been enforced by women onto you. That's giving you these insecurities. If the girl out there running around,
I wouldn't
I find
necessarily
that
say
really hard.
enforced. I would say maybe like influenced, not
I get
enforced.
what
or
you're saying,
perpetuated.
and I'm very on the line about this because I'm like, well, you like it because the society tells you to like it, right? That's my thing. But at the same time, I be looking at shoes, and I'm like, yo, I love those shoes, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's just because I like it, right? I'm very hard to say, well, they're only doing this. No, you have to believe they can do things just because they like it.
Yeah, that's like
I like wearing makeup because I like it, not because anybody else likes it. I
You
don't-
you have to be able to believe that. If not, then
It's
humans
fun.
have no
It's fun to
innate,
Yeah,
put
like,
makeup on and
makeup
will,
for me at this
in a
point is
sense.
like art in a way.
Yeah.
Like
we though? Everything we do
We
is
do and we
influenced by
don't.
something.
we do and we don't. We do and we don't.
another thing, like not everybody is like this, of course, but like for me, doing makeup, whether it's on myself or somebody else, it's like how an artist will sit down and paint on a canvas.
Jay's hat is a
yeah,
catfish.
bro, you
Ever
cannot
knew
tell
he
me
was
this is not
bald? I'm
artwork
shook.
on my eyeballs right now.
They saying your hat was
This is
catfish.
your first time being without a hat on the podcast.
So
He's like, all right, I'm catfish.
I don't give a
Fuck
fuck.
it.
yeah, I don't really care.
That's
yeah,
different though.
Calvin, you can be a groomsman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's asked like 30 times.
Yeah,
Anyways,
for real.
But I was
really don't
saying, me
care.
doing makeup, whether it's on myself or somebody else, at this point, it's like an artist sitting down, drawing something or painting, or it's like a stress relief. It's relaxing. Like,
No, I get
it's
it.
a lot of things. It's not
I get it.
only,
I get
oh,
it.
I need to put it on. Like, there's women that will do a full face beat just to go and buy an orange at the grocery store to make an orange juice. Like,
I get it.
you know?
Some-
Sometimes
get
I'll
it.
sit at home and do a full beat and I'll take it right back off.
I get
Just
it.
for fun because
I
I'm
get it.
bored and
I
it's
get it.
relaxing.
I get it.
This is why you have to say like you gotta get like they may just like it.
Yeah.
Like even
You
though
have
it's,
to, bro. You have
even
to.
though it's
She didn't
something-
just go and beat her face for 2 hours
To show-
and then took it off 30
And I
seconds
didn't
later.
go anywhere.
She didn't even take a picture. She just did it and then
Now
took it off.
Again, I don't wanna speculate on why she did it and why she didn't do it. You telling me you did it because you didn't have anything else to do, so you decided to
And
put
you felt
makeup
like
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't have anything
So-
else to do. I was bored at home, and I was like,
And she
okay, I'm gonna
likes
do my
makeup.
makeup because it's fun for me. It's relaxing, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna take it off.
So if the makeup didn't exist, what would you do for relaxing?
There would be other things.
I don't know, do other
Yeah.
But that's
shit.
just
Other
something
shit.
they found interesting.
Yeah,
maybe she would get into drawing or something
just-
else.
Or I like to sing. I would
I
sing.
do get what
like,
you're saying, Jay.
I
and
don't
you know,
sing out for
I get
people.
what you're saying too.
No, I get
but
it too.
You have to understand that there are
People
women
just
out
like
there
stuff.
that also simply just like it. It's fun for them. It's whatever you want
Eddie,
to
you
say.
gonna have your makeup done next Thursday?
no.
No,
I'm not
I
doing
don't know.
my
I just
makeup.
don't buy it because I think it's part of the competition, and this is
It
what makes you stand
partially-
out.
it
No, I
partially
agree
Can
is.
I
with
do
you.
both of theirs
But-
makeup for the next pod?
I
Jay too?
do partially agree with you, Jay. But I think the reason things like that turn into this whole competition is society wants to make money. And how do they do
I think
that,
if the
bro?
guy that you like picks the prettier girl,
Bro,
and you think makeup is gonna enhance
but-
your look, you're gonna put the makeup on so the guy
Yeah,
picks you.
listen, but that's not only the reason. The insecurity thing we're pointing at is how girls make other girls feel insecure
Correct.
with the whole makeup
Correct,
thing.
and I agree with that 100%.
Right? And that plays towards how, bro, when I was in middle school and in elementary
Mhm.
school, if you wore Reeboks, you wore Fila's, you got roasted.
Yeah,
You
I
got
agree.
roasted, right? That was Miggy. That was Miggy. Miggy had the Fila's. Miggy had the Reeboks. We used to roast them. It is what it is. And that's little kids are mean.
I showed up with some Reebok Classic one time, and I thought I was the shit. Everybody's like, "Damn, dude,
What
They're
are
roasting the fuck
those?
out of me.
What
They're
are
roasting the fuck out of me,
those?
actually."
No, I agree.
So I believe they play off of this competition, and Jordan and Yeezy and Nike and all these guys, they make these exclusive shoes and and they market that because they know we like the competition and this and that.
well,
But at the same time, I buy these shoes because I like them.
no. In your case, yes, but at the
Bro,
end of the-
bullshit in my case.
What do
It's
you
the same
mean
shit.
in your
Same
case?
shit.
It's the
Same,
same
same,
shit.
same,
It's
same
not.
shit.
It's not,
Just
because-
because they're women does not make a difference. Same
it does.
shit.
It does
Period.
because
Mic drop.
80% of the consumers and 80% of
Podcast
consumer
ending.
base, you can't just rage quit, bro. That makes no sense. 80% of the consumer base currently in United States are women. The 3/4 of the debt is owned by women. So who makes these decisions are women, right?
Yeah.
So bottom line, these
spends
companies
the most
are
money?
given
Yeah,
are
women.
given what women want, and this is what it is.
That's what I mean. And so they play to make us compete. And I think that's where
They don't play to make us.
Yes,
compete.
they do,
What are
bro.
you
Because they
talking
Bro,
about?
yes,
compete.
they definitely
Absolutely.
do.
I think you're
Absolutely.
innately competing because the reason
Yes, you're
explain
right.
to me
but
when
they
you pull
use
up-
that to that. The companies are all using that to their advantage.
Bro, why do you think makeup is so expensive? Me and Emily, I walked in and bought 2 things and spent like almost $60.
And I agree because you will pay for it. That's why it's expensive. You
Because I
stop
like
paying
it.
for
Because I like it. Not for anybody else. I bought it because I wanted it to use for myself.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. It's not. I've given you so many examples.
I
and all you said, I
understand.
like it. I like it. That doesn't
Because I
explain
do.
anything.
Why you wear those shoes?
How does it?
Because you like them, bro.
I wear the shoes correct, but again, I'm not part
Because
of the
you
80%
like
consumer
it.
base.
She put on makeup because she liked
And I
it.
didn't go anywhere to show anybody. I put it in my house and I took it right back off because I like doing
I
it.
get that that's what you're saying. I get that that's what you're saying. And I get that that's how you feel. I get it. But what I'm trying to say, makeup is there to compete, just like a simple case of when you pull up at the red light when you're young, you're trying to rev your engine and you're trying to win this non-existing race. Explain that to me. All I'm trying to say, competition is innately in us, and we use all these tools to compete with the same sex that we have to point out that we're better than that person or the next
Okay,
person.
I
with you.
agree with
Jay.
you,
We
too.
all agree with you.
So-
Yeah.
But that is not
The
100%
full
the
reason.
time like that. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
We do not
I'm
make
not
every
always putting-
decision on our life and why we do things.
Fine. Is 5 out of 100 not like that? Yes.
It's
Here,
not 5
have
out
it.
of 100 though.
It's 5 out of 100. It's 5 out of 100 that is not like that.
I am going to look up and how many girls out of 1,000 are insecure.
Well,
1,000.
That
insecure,
cannot-
that's something very different.
Motherfucker, bro. I can't.
Insecure is something very different. It has to be insecure involving makeup to make sense, because a woman
I just
can
wanna
be
know she's
insecure about
insecure.
something else.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just want to know if she's insecure. I want to see how many girls are
Oh,
insecure.
All of them?
1,000 out of 1,000.
Yeah. And I think it has to
I
do
feel
with
like everybody has insecurities regardless.
Exactly,
So it doesn't
men
matter.
or women
do-
all have
I
insecurities.
think everyone does have insecurities, but I think what happens with girls, because you're more communitarian, the opinions of community around you matters so much that that instills a lot of insecurities on you. Where the guys are more like individualistic, and they're like, you know what, I don't give a shit. What like. I could have
Yeah.
went there and cried and got off the podcast because Alex said you're bald. Okay,
97% of women
Mm-hmm.
experience at least one negative thought about their body image every day.
Yes.
That's just the stat.
So 97%.
Of
So that
women
means out of
experience
those,
one negative thought about their body every day.
so
I'm sorry, but that's sad. I don't think about like myself like that every day. I'm sad. That's sad to say.
no,
But it's all
what are
society putting
Alex
that on you
talking
guys.
about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
society,
society
and social media
Putting you guys
and
on
all of
that based off of the competition. All right, we gotta wrap this up.
Well, yeah, but bottom line is just take the L, guys. It's all good.
No, we're not taking any fucking L's,
No
Jay.
L's.
Yes, you
no,
are.
we're not.
Yes, you
All
are.
three of us here are telling you you're wrong. We can do things because
Just
we
take the L.
fucking feel like it.
Bro.
You're taking an L. We
Ask,
got three
ask
against one.
everybody in the
Shave
comments.
it,
They gonna
three
say
Shave
the
the
same
beard
thing.
for the
Versus-
next
It
pod.
doesn't matter. You can say what you feel like,
And you're
but
saying what
bottom
you
line
feel.
is-
Exactly.
Bottom line is
you
you
have
do
your
things-
opinion and
you
your
do
feelings,
thi-
and we have
you
our
do
own.
things to fit within the society that you're in. This is what you do. Whether you want to
But
do
not
it
always.
consciously or unconsciously, you always do things to fit within the society.
That's bullshit.
Newest
Not
what are you
always.
talking about? The newest trend comes out when what's her name? Rihanna cut her hair in 2008 and 2009. Suddenly, every single girl was cutting
So
their
you're
hair.
saying, oh, no, bro.
Who?
You're saying everything we
Rihanna.
do is because of society tells us it's okay.
No, everything you do is to compete within that society. This
Everything
is what
I
I'm
do.
trying-
Everything I
Correct.
do.
Everything
So
you
I
do is
go
to
and I
compete within
sit
the
down at my
society.
house and I put on a comedy special when I was 8 years old or 10 years old watching Eddie Murphy Delirious. That's something for society, bro? Because I fucking feel like it. I'm having fun. That's what they're doing with their makeup.
I
Period.
understand. The whole idea, what I'm trying to say, when it comes to around within society, within a group, the things that you do usually are based around competing. Because even when the guys sit down and talk, what are they doing? They're trying to dog each other.
You're
Who's
right.
going to be a better
You're
joker?
right.
I
You're
agree.
right. Within society.
Correct.
She was doing makeup at her home by herself. She wasn't doing that within society.
Because maybe she felt. Let me.
Because I like it.
Well,
That's it, bro. Because I like
no,
it.
maybe.
Period.
Maybe,
Period.
And the
I
podcast.
think, yeah, exactly. Rage quit. That's it.
I know
rage
you
quit.
did not just do that.
Yeah,
Bro.
rage quit. That's it. That's the best way to solve problems. What I'm trying to say now, I don't know. This could be wrong, but maybe you fell down that moment. Maybe you felt if you put the makeup on, you see yourself in there, you're going to feel better about it. This and that. There could be tons of things. You didn't just sit down because, okay, I'm bored. Let me do something. See, there's got to be
But
an
there
underlying
has
reason.
But
been
that's
cases
exactly
that I've
what
done that
happened.
because I am bored. I have nothing else to do. During
Exactly.
quarantine, I would do my makeup almost every single day because
Me
I had
too.
nothing else to freaking do.
Me too.
Mhm.
I had watched every show that interests me, every movie. I
Mhm.
ate
Because-
every
because maybe you
food
wanted
that
to
we
remind,
had.
maybe I don't know, maybe because you wanted to remind yourself that you are pretty, you deserve this, you're the boss, babe. I don't know.
I
You
just
said
had.
it. You said it. Maybe.
What do you do?
Maybe.
Correct.
What do you do when you're
Maybe.
bored?
I'm never bored.
You
I always have
wait.
shit to
Okay,
do.
so why do you go to?
You read
jujitsu?
statistics.
You read statistics.
Yep, I read books. I look
Okay,
into
that is
statistics, I
your
look at
and
stuff.
therapy. That is your stress relief. That is
You're
your
not doing
thing.
it to compete to be smarter against other men.
100% I am.
Bro, I don't give a fuck how smart you are.
You don't. That's okay. You don't. But this is part of it. Knowing
Within
things
society,
makes
yes.
me,
But if you're doing things by yourself around not anybody,
Because you like it.
so if I know something, if somebody comes out and says this, and I'm like, nah, well, you're kind of wrong. So it's not. It's unconsciously that's what it is. It's competing. By me telling you that you're incorrect, it's unconsciously competing. If you want to
but
be
you
100%,
you always like telling
100%
people
right.
they're
That's why he's
incorrect
against
anyways.
us. He just
That's
likes
why he's
competing.
always competing.
Exactly.
That's why he's always
Yeah,
competing.
well, that's what you are. You're always competing. What you mean? You're always competing every day.
Not
I don't believe
always.
that.
I don't agree with that either.
When did I never competed today. For what? For what?
Oh, today?
Today. I never competed.
No, today we were too busy setting up the podcast.
I woke
and
up.
We couldn't even get the.
She said, well, I just said I don't agree. I don't compete against nobody. I could care less, only in racing. Okay.
Basically, bro. Basically. All right, I think that's a good. That's a good.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a good point.
I think
to
on
end
this
it.
note, thanks again, guys, for listening.
Thank you.
If
guys.
you haven't
Good
liked the
night.
video, like it. But
Yeah.
I'm sure you've already done that. Other than
Subscribe
that,
if you haven't.
subscribe if you haven't. I mean, we're sitting here and arguing, and I don't know.
we
I
have
don't know
video
right
proof
now.
of Jay being wrong. A lot of video.
We have video proof of Jay being wrong. Jay wasn't wrong. He presented a bunch
Yeah,
of
he was
arguments,
wrong.
and all of you said I feel like and I think like.
He was wrong.
None of you were able to say anything. So good luck.
It's
So what I'm saying is I'm gonna just
And-
I'm gonna just refresh this, and all I see is 2 likes on this video. Come on, guys. There is 14 of you watching right now,
No
and we have only
way.
2 likes.
14 people watching and only 2 likes.
Come on, guys.
refresh.
Yeah, refresh. All right.
There's definitely
we
5.
have
Well,
There's
that's a
definitely
good note to
5
end it,
likes.
guys.
13.
Really appreciate you guys coming to
13.
watch.
We're good.
Really appreciate you guys coming to watch. We'll be live again
Thanks
on Thursday.
again, guys. We're gonna have another panel where I can be a contrarian and argue,
Again.
and you can go out there and try to say a lot of things.